nation, destroys our generation. I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't mind.
What is going out there, everybody? I think we all here. I think we good. We good? Check, check. Checking mic. Alright. Welcome, everybody. Spline Design Studios Saturday. It is a rather shivery. It would be a shiverly day. We're kind of shivering out here, I guess, as far as a little bit cold. Had some snow. Glad to be inside, nice and warm. Not gonna waste too much time. I've got some dinner in the oven, so yeah, it'll be really good. Welcome in, Derek. Welcome everybody joining, I guess, as far as on the screen. We got pizza. Derek, welcome everybody in, coming on in. Just getting some things fired up. Running a little bit late. Usually I like to get these going, I guess, around 5 p.m. Eastern time, but got a little bit sidetracked, I'm not gonna lie. We got some things to do here. Working on quite a few productions, I guess, as far as for the development of the Dairyland 4X map for Farming Simulator 22. And I've got one in particular, I guess, as far as we're going to work on. Y'all might kind of enjoy this, hopefully. So once I just get some things loaded up here, we'll get moving. Hope everybody's doing good out there, though. I do have, we got some crayons here, I guess, as far as for anybody that does feel left out, I guess, as far as we get into the thick of this thing here. A little bit different than what we know, what you see here on Twitch normally, I guess, as far as to be a little creative here on Saturdays. We will see some gameplay, I guess, as far as once we do some of the work here. Kind of enjoy, I guess, as far as the fruits of our labor. Okay. So I got it all loaded up here. Let's switch this over. So this is what we got going on here for this evening here, folks. You might be tending to wondering, it's like, what the heck am I looking at here? So this is a building. It is based on something that's already in the game, I guess, as far as for Farming Simulator 22. It's a building that you might have noticed, I guess, around such maps like Elm Creek. I tend to try to focus on buildings, I guess, as far as it's already created. That's that way the textures and such are already self-included, I guess, as far as with the map, with the game entirely, and not have to apply my own texture weight, I guess, as far as to the models. And this, quite honestly, is a pretty good candidate, I guess, as far as for creating one of our productions for the Dairyland map. This primarily is the scope of this is to be used for a paper production. It was evident in the Farm Sim 19 version of the Dairyland map, so I needed some type of building to be able to put with the FS22 version, I guess, as far as this Dairyland 4X. So, like I said, we should, you know, as we progress on here, we'll be able to see some of the application to this right in the map. Go check it out in the map. So, part of the thing that's going on with this, it doesn't have an interior. I know it does look like it does in this this view, but it actually does not. So if I render this really quick, you'll see that this does not have a interior. I can see the back faces, I guess, as far as in this viewport. That's about it. So yeah, let's go ahead and render this just to kind of give y'all a clue of what's going on. And basically what we want to attempt to do here is put an interior to it. So you can see from the render there's really no interior to this building. By default, I guess as far as there was no need to have it because it's just a aesthetic building, I guess, as far as that's placed around the back. But it's very well built, I guess, as far as the construct of it. So we decided to use this, I guess, as far as our basis for a paper production, which is this guy right here. So we've got it initially applied in here without the interior, as you can see. Same thing here in the Giants editor. So what we've taken the liberty of doing is putting this into our 3D modeling application, and we're going to apply an interior to this. Now, in theory here, this shouldn't be all that difficult. All we basically want to be able to do are the walls that are already created here for the outside, to be able to make a clone of that, flip those so that they face into the interior. So in theory, this should be good. I'm actually going to turn this down a little bit. I feel like I'm kind of yelling over the top of the background music. But definitely for anybody that is joining on the stream, feel free to ask any questions, I guess, as far as what's going on. I try to answer them as best as I can, keep them as much in the layman's term, but this is the premise and the basis for what we're trying to do here. So part of the reason why I wanted to add an interior to this, it kind of gave me some inspiration with the potato production that I have officially submitted to Giants Mod Hub, and it does have an interior with a potato heap. I'm not going to be taking the same approach with this one, but I wanted to be able to have an interior to show what's going on inside of the production, not just have the doors closed. And just by breaking this one down, I came to find it's a very good candidate as far as to apply an interior to. There is collisions in this level here. So this particular structure has what's called LODs, or levels of detail, levels of display. So in my scene here, I have both models represented to include the first level and the second level, which I think I got the other one hidden. And what we'll need to do is basically, so this peach looking part here, this is the second level of detail. There's not really that much difference other than the fact that it's got more detail to the openings as far as the windows and such on one model in comparison to the other. So you may end up going with the approach of just applying the same level model, I guess, as far as to both LODs. We'll just see how it works. We want to maintain that certain level of optimization that was previously in the model, I guess, as far as prior to us making the adjustments to making an interior. So it's going to add poly weight, but we don't want to do that too much to the extreme, I guess, as far as to take away from the original optimization of the model. But we want to add some more detail to it as well, because we want to be able to put, make it look like there's something going on the inside, if that makes sense. Okay, so we're going to hide this other level here. So we'll keep it in our scene, but we don't need it in our viewport at the moment. Okay, so we do have the texture. So this texture, as I already mentioned, I guess, as far as is what we consider to be dollar data. So it's already in the game. We didn't have to create this. And just to kind of give a clue of what this texture looks like for this building, pretty simple. Pretty simple. It does repeat on the horizontal, hence the reason why it is so narrow. But you might tend to ask us as far as, the fact that this texture looks pretty simple, and it is, but the way it's textured, I guess, as far as it does give it makes use of the whole entire texture, I guess, as far as on every facet of this this model, which I feel the way that's been done, I guess, as far as by Giants by default, is pretty. It's pretty spectacular. So, taking this spectacular building that Giants has already taken the liberty of creating, we want to add an interior to this thing. So, to give closer clarification on this, if we highlight this, you can see how this poly is darker, and it's lighter on this side. So that means this faces this way on the outside, and there's nothing on the inside. So what we're gonna do is highlight all these polys on the outside, detach those, clone it, and otherwise flip those so that they face inward. We're still gonna maintain, I guess, as far as the outward facing polys that we use it as a donor. So just making a clone of the outside walls, basically, to be able to bring those onto the inside. In theory, it should definitely be a pretty straightforward process, but we'll see how this goes. We'll just see how this goes. Don't really need the stuff for the windows. I'm gonna leave those out. Just the walls. So you can see, even by, just naturally, I guess, as far as the number of n-gons that exist, I guess, as far as to make use of all these openings that are in. So picture, if you will, just one poly that has nothing on it as far as any cuts, I guess, as far as for windows or doors, and how clean that would be. You'd have what's considered a true polygon, a four-sided poly. And this, what happens when you cut into that untouched poly, you end up with n-gons. The minimal amount of n-gons possible, I guess, as far as to put cuts into a normal polygon, is kind of what you look for, I guess, as far as to maintain optimization. So even as I select all these individual n-gons, you can get a true sense, I guess, as far as of just how clean this model is, in consideration of all the cuts made into it for different openings for windows and doors. Yeah, keeping these n-gons to a minimum is definitely a must. Definitely a must. To maintain optimization of the model. Alright, so we're going to continue just to flip. Am I going to need that down there? Let me see. I don't even know if I need this bottom half. Because if we look at our model in here, I might just do that anyway, just to most of that I feel is going to be in the ground. Okay, so I may not need these bottom polys here below the threshold of the doors. I might just leave those out. Okay, I'm going to actually remove these. Let's see. Alright, so we're in constant, as always, I guess, as far as to ensure, I guess, as far as the stream doesn't go dead on us. We got the cross fingers emote. If you are following the channel, feel free to use that at any time, I guess, as far as just to kind of ensure that the stream doesn't go away on us. It's always a fear that we have, I guess, as far as the stream might potentially get torched on us, and not by our own faults, I guess, as far as just the faults of just the way Twitch works, I suppose, sometimes. Okay. Yeah, so I'm not going to do the foundation, I guess, as far as below the grade line, as we would call it. I'm just going to stay level, I guess, as far as with the thresholds of the doors on the back here and on the front. That should be all we need to do. Who's farting on my stream? I guess we got to keep everybody awake, I suppose. I have rearranged, I guess, as far as some of the sound redemptions on the channel point redemptions, I guess, as far as some of you might take notice. And Probably for good reason too, because some of them I felt weren't very adequate, I guess, as far as for what the cost was. So I also have taken the liberty of reducing. I don't know if I need this here actually. I might need to do the front side here a little bit different. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm realizing I may need to do these a little bit different. So once I detach this, I'll basically be able to flatten this out. So we don't need this same type of, this bump out, I guess, as far as on the inside as we do on the outside. We'll see how this works out for us, though. I'm still going to go ahead and detach these so that we can use those to flip. Yeah, this is going to take away a lot of my own manual work, I guess, as far as to create buildings like this that are already done up. We're just making, we're kind of repurposing the one that already exists. This makes it kind of less labor intensive, especially when this model is very well put together. It's not all chopped up, I guess, as far as so bad that it's just better off just to make one from scratch. When you've got a model that's this nicely put together, it's hard not to just want to go ahead and just kind of redesign it just a touch. Okay. I think that's about all I'm going to need there. Yeah, I got a rough idea of what I want to do for the inside around these garage doors. Now, I'm not considering, I guess, as far as to make these garage doors open, as far as to be active, because I've come to find, I guess, as far as there's very minimal amount of things you can do, I guess, as far as with how productions work for Farm Simulator 22, like having animated doors and such like that. We're kind of limited, I guess, in a way, as far as how that works. So if it does tend to present itself to be able to do that, we might consider it. But at least for the time being, I'm not necessarily considering that, at least for now. Just for further clarification of what we're trying to accomplish here. Alright, so that's all good there. Making sure I'm not highlighting anything I don't need. Let's see here. Oh. Okay, I guess I missed this right here. So when it'll make sense, I guess, as far I'm gonna have to do a little bit of work, I guess, as far as once I detach this and clone it to these parts here, so just kind of flatten it out. Yeah. I don't need these to be a bump out, I guess, as far as for the interior. It may turn out better than I expect, though, I guess, as far as we'll just see how it goes. Okay. I think I got everything I need. We have... Oh, wait a minute. Oh, this is interesting. So we got a little bit of... Need to get these little slivers, too. Got some little intricate details in there. Get those as well. Being very precise on what I'm selecting, because I don't want to choose at this point, I guess, as far as the foundation, I guess, as far as below the grade line and the roof panels, at least not for now. I'll do the roof separate. Okay, so it looks like we probably got some of that on the other side here too. Yep. Sure do. All that. Yeah, so as opposed to just highlighting the whole buildings and just flipping all the polys like that, I don't really want to do that. It's not what we're really trying to do. being very selective on which polys we want. Got some really intricate details, I guess, as far as on these corners and such. Alright. Thought just crossed my brain, I guess, as far as I'm gonna see how this works out first. If I don't like how it turns out there, we can always we can make some adjustments. Yeah, so there's some pretty intricate corners here. It's not like it's like a rounded off corner. It's not like 100% squared off. It's very subtle, but it is definitely let's move our light this way. Oh, come on, light. Don't be like that. These lights in here can be sometimes really thin. There we go. That's what I wanted. Wanted to take a closer look at how these corners are done. Yeah, so they're like just ever so subtly rounded off. So it's not like a true 90-degree corner. Very little intricate, you know, just that very intricate detail, I guess, as far as in the model. All the more reason I would love to be able to put an interior to this. Okay. Alright, let's make sure we got all these corners. Oops, I think I missed one right here. Okay, I'm just paying really close attention to these corners now to make sure I didn't lose any of the detail of that corner. So I gotta get this here. Got these little tiny tidbits right here too. One thing I have not put this into yet, and I think I'll do that right now, is put it in an orthographic. Gives me a little bit more field of view, I guess, as far as on be able to pan and zoom in really close. Oh, I see we even got those on this part too. Okay. I guess we'll have to highlight those as well. So just about every corner that we have on this thing has like a rounded off edge to it. Very nice. You know, being able to use an already existing model like this, it really helps you to appreciate, I guess, as far as of how much time somebody took, I guess, as far as over there at Giants, I guess, as far as to create these very intricate models, and also to somewhat preserve, I guess, as far as that original craftsmanship. We don't want to lose any of that if we can help it. Yep, just about every one of these pillars has a rounded corner as well. Nice. Very nice. Okay. You may at times finally get to be really focused and quiet. Hence the reason we've got the sound alert redemptions. We also do have text to speech, or speech to text, however you want to put it. Get my attention, I guess, as far as if need be. If there is a question you care to want to ask, you can feel free to use that as a means to get my attention. I think I'm going to leave that all out. As long as we're consistent in what we've got selected here, I think we should be okay. Should be okay. I think we got all that we want to have selected. Okay, let's start the creation of our interior. Alright, so let's go ahead and detach this. And for now, I'm just going to do this as object 1. Yeah, that'll work. So now we've got that completely detached. Nice, and we'll go ahead and affect the pivot and center on that. Now, if I hide this, we'll be able to see what's all left. You can see we kind of just left the bare bones of the building to include the window openings, garage door openings, the roof, and the grade line foundation. Okay, looking pretty good. Let me actually look at this through vertex mode. Kind of see if we got any floating vertices, I guess, as far as the oh, that's actually looking pretty good. Pretty clean model. Okay, so while I'm in this mode, we're going to select the roof and create our interior for the roof separately from the walls. So let's do the roof next. We'll do the same thing as we did with the walls. We'll highlight the end guns in this case. Detach that. And then before we do anything as far as to flip them, we're going to clone those detached walls and roof. And that way we have an instance of both. We have two instances of both the roof and the walls. And one set will be able to flip it so that it faces inwards to the building. All in theory, like I said, as far as it should, and it should retain all the texture mapping, I guess, as far as for that as well. In the process of doing that. Okay, so all I should need is just these. Might do something a little bit different for the inside. Don't really need all that bulk, so much the same like with these doors here. I might take the initiative, I guess, as far as just to flatten that from the inside. Yeah, so I'm gonna leave that out. I got an idea for that. So we don't need all this detail as it is on the outside as we do for the inside. Can be toned down. This selection tool seems to be working out pretty good so far, without doing a different type of brush, I guess, as far as for selection. I'm being very careful not to drag select, because if I do that, I might unintentionally, guess, as far as grab something that I don't want to have selected, even with back facing turned off. Okay. That should be all we need to have selected there. Let's go ahead and detach that. Leave that as object 2 for now. I might end up renaming that just for clarity in our items list. Okay. Now we can take this one, we'll center that. Pivot center on that. Now if we hide that, you can see what's left. So all the trim for the roof is going to be left. Oh, looks like, did I miss a piece here? Where Where's that? What's going on with this here? What is going on with that there? So this, I think, might be something we still need to have. Actually, nope, that does face on the inside. Okay. I don't know what the deal with that is. Here, let me check something here. So if we hide this real quick, and then unhide our object 2. What's going on with that? Interesting. So that's... Oh, we must have grabbed something that we didn't want in there. My bad. So that looks like that's going to be part of the window. Even as I said, I was being very careful to not drag select. I must have grabbed something from the window piece there. Okay, so we need to return that. We need to remove it from this piece. Do not want that in there. Let's see. Let's do it by vertex. So we'll attach that. That is object 3. And we'll actually select that. We'll center on that. Okay, and then we'll actually, let's hide object 2. Bring back our original shape. And then put that back into here. We made a boo-boo as far as to select that as a part of our roof, which is actually not a part of the roof. Alright, so we do that. Collapse that back together. Cool. Reconvert that back to another poly. And we'll just effective pivot again just to make sure. Fully centered, nice. Cool. Now if we hide that one more time. Let's unhide our walls. So right off the bat, one thing I do notice, and this is what sometimes happens when you go through these methods, you can see some of these polys are getting broken. I'm going to render this really quick to see if that's going to be the case. If we see these dark spots, I guess as far as on our polys, when we render it, chances are we might have broke those. We might have unsnapped some vertices, I guess as far as unintentionally, in the process of detaching that from the original model. So, render this real quick and see. It doesn't look as bad as I was thinking it would be. I think we should be okay. If we saw a really nasty dark spot to show like a cut or a tear into that poly, that set of n-gons, that would have been bad. We would have had to fix that. But I don't think that's too terrible. I think we're in good shape. Okay. What I am going to do is actually do something different with the front here. Let me see here. Taking a closer look. Before I do anything to this, I definitely want to make sure I clone it. Because I still want to maintain, I guess, as far as these outside walls. Yeah. Anyone a grand sharpener? I chewed the orange. True, you're not supposed to do that. I know there's no judgment here, like I've mentioned before here on the channel, but if you got an old box of Crayola crayons or whatever, it should have a sharpener on that. You can use a pencil sharpener one too. If you got one for a pencil, those work just as good too for the crayons. How we doing in there today, Drew? Yeah, so before I forget to do anything, I want to make sure that I clone this. I want to start making adjustments to this in there and mess up our outside walls. So let me go ahead and clone this really quick before I forget. Do this as a copy. And we're going to do this as interior. Let's see. I'm going to do it that way. That'll work. Cool. Alright, so now we got a clone of this. We should have 2 instances now. So this is our original walls. I want to hide that one. Now we can just work with this one here. Alright, so looking at this a little bit closer, I'm kind of almost thinking what I want to do is close this off here. So we'll still have this I don't need to have this bump out, I guess, as far as like that, because that's for the we're working on the interior, so I'm going to need to close this off. I think that'll work, but I don't think I'm going to need these other polys here, so I can keep the bump out, but just close this in here so we have something for our interior. If I were to take these out, that might look a little weird. That's what I'm kind of thinking anyway. So one way I can kind of test this theory is I can detach one of these, I guess, as far as to see, and then hide it, and just kind of see what that's going to look like based on our outside walls in comparison to our interior walls. Okay, so what we'll do, this is our interior walls. I need to select all these polys, and we're going to flip them all so that they face the opposite direction that they originate from. Oh, you're hanging in there? Well, that's good to hear. I'm not doing bad. Just a little shivering. I kind of mentioned it as far as we're kind of shivering on Saturday because it is still winter. But yeah, I'm glad to be indoors because as far as after pushing some of that white stuff around on the ground, it's kind of nice. Got to make the doors wider. That's the only way Deuce can. Yeah, so we're always keeping Deuce in mind, I guess, as far as when we do these type of things. I got to Deuce proof it. Okay, so we got all the poly selected. Yeah, I'm always keeping that type of thing in mind too when it comes to collisions that exist. The way this one is designed has the collisions in the one level of detail, which is all on this level here. A majority of that will probably end up maintaining. That's why I'm not really taking the initiative, I guess, as far as to change, although we could. I want to try this out, I guess. I really like the design of this building, as far as for use of a paper production. The only thing is I wanted to have an interior to it so I could add some interaction, I guess, as far as with either where the pallets spawn or where you put the ingredients for the production into, if that makes sense. And not just to be rather plain, I guess, as far as just to put them on the outside and have nothing going on there. So I get this inspiration from the potato production that I've officially submitted to Giants, and it is up there, I guess, as far as for anybody to grab. It does have a physical interior that has a little bit of dynamic to it. I just feel a lot of these productions that are by default, they're kind of blah, I guess, as far as it doesn't really have a lot of dynamic to it. They're pretty plain and simple, and I'm just taking the approach, because as far as to add a little more dynamic to it. But yeah, most all of these pieces in this level display, the level of detail, has all the collision, whereas this is just the visual. To include, I guess, as far as the this is another reason why I like this building, because it already has a snow cap, I guess, as far as for when it becomes winter and you get the snow accumulation. It's already got this applied to it. That's one less thing too I'll have to deal with as far as creating one of those. But yeah, all these pieces here are just visual and have no collision. All the collision exists in the second level of detail. So like I said, we'll probably end up maintaining a majority of that. Hence the reason why I'm not really considering this as far as to change the overall look of it. Because I kind of like it. It kind of reminds me of the paper production that we did for the FS19 version. Only on the FS22 side of things. So everything that you're looking at is already in the game. As far as this building is from Elm Creek. It has all the textures and the model weight and so on directed right from the Elm Creek Mac. So we're trying to maintain that certain level of optimization that was already in the building so that we can bring it into our Dairyland. map, I guess, as far as for our paper production. So that is the premise of what we're trying to do here, for those that are new coming in here. So what we're going to do now that we got these all flipped, or I don't have them flipped yet, I got them all selected, I need to flip these so they face the opposite direction, like so. Now we have those all facing inward. Okay, so yep, see how they're highlighted dark on this side? That means they're facing this direction, facing inward at this point. Now from here, this is still on my interior walls. Clone that piece from the outside, so I still got that other object that represents the outside walls. So now what I want to do is select one section of these. I'm going to detach this. Go back to my detach. Yes, please. And then I want to center that pivot onto that piece. Alright, and then what this is going to do is allow me to hide this, bring back the outside walls. It should be object 1. And I'll get an idea of how this is going to look. Let's try and render this. So there shouldn't be anything here in this spot when we render it from this angle. Alright, so what we're looking at there is actually this right here. It should be. This is what we should be looking at right there. So there's nothing in this spot, let alone. Alright, let's go ahead. Render that again. Let me see here. Okay, that didn't turn out. So yeah, this piece here that we're looking at in the render is actually this right here. There's nothing in that spot. Let me adjust my angle here a little bit. We should be able to get something here. That's weird. Alright, so this is outside walls. Should be able to see this poly. Oh, that is the interior walls. Okay, so yeah, this is exactly what I didn't want. So what I'm kind of almost thinking to do, I did flip it like it was intended to. So I think what I could get away with, actually, there's going to be a lot of thinking going on, I guess, as far as how I want to do about these. So the fact that it's not straight across there and we have bump outs on the outside, I don't necessarily need to have that same bump out on the interior. I can probably just go straight across. That's the way I'm thinking of it. So in other words, I should be able to just put a poly going across this here and remove the rest of it. And I can use that as a guide as where that poly needs to go. Alright, so alright, let's look at it from the outside here. Let's see, in that same spot. So from this angle, we shouldn't see anything here but that. Alright, let's see what we can render this and see what's going on here. Alright, so we do see that. That should be the outside wall. Let me highlight this. We should also be seeing something here. That's weird. Sometimes what will happen when you render, when you have opposing polys, I guess as far as on the back side, back-facing polys as well as out-facing polys, when too close together, a lot of times when you render it, they'll clip, and by that, they tend to cancel each other out. And I think that's what it's what's called back-face calling. And I should be able to see, having both the outside walls and the inside walls, I should be able to see something Nothing in this spot, but yet here and here. So I think what's happening when I render it is it's back face culling, and I'm not seeing anything in this spot over here. It's not really giving me a good idea, I guess, as far as how that's going to look. So I think what I'm going to end up doing, though, is just bringing that straight across, using these as a guide on our interior. That way we can just go ahead and erase. And this is just on the interior part, not the outside. The outside we still want to maintain, I guess, as far as that bump out for the garage doors. Just don't need that on the inside. Okay. I think I got a game plan now. Let's go ahead and hide our outside. Whoops, I deselect that. Okay, now we're just left with the interior again. And I can also bring back this other piece. And then, actually, I'm gonna go ahead and reattach that. We're gonna end up deleting that out there once we, but I want to get it initially reattached so that I can actually draw a poly onto this. I'm gonna have to attach it eventually anyway. I'll just do it right meow. Okay, so let's take that piece and this piece. Grab our trusty dusty hammer, collapse that down, collapse it. Oh yeah, see it crunches these panels here. I hate when it does that. Let me undo that. See how it's getting dark spots here? So a lot of times in this whole detach and reattach, I guess, as far as process there, it sometimes steps on the integrity of the polys. But when you see these dark spots tend to shift, that's what's happening. I'm trying to minimize that as much as possible. Okay. Alright, so that detached. Alright, let's try that again. I might go this direction. Sometimes just changing the direction of what which way you hammer it back into place will make a difference. The only thing it will do is probably change the name of our shape is all. Okay. Let's try to collapse that down again. Okay, that time it didn't do it, so that might have actually helped. Whenever I see that those dark spots tend to shift when I recollapse it back down, that worries me, because what that tells me is it's breaking the integrity, I guess, of those polys. They're even further than I would like it to. Alright, did that actually collapse? I don't think it did. Okay, it did shift, but it wasn't too bad. Not as bad. Alright, let's see if that... Center that back. We're going to rename this back to interior walls. That was the only downside, I guess, as far as of using in the other... collapsing in the other direction, is it stepped on the name of our shape, so let's rename it. Alright, that's fine. Now, let's render this real quick. That actually looks pretty good. So if this would have been a really nasty dark spot here, I would have been a little bit concerned, I guess, as far as that, but so far that looks pretty good. Because that means those polys got massively broken. So we're not seeing that, I guess, as far as, so that's good. And hopefully it stays that way. Hopefully it stays that way. Okay. Now that that's all back together, well, all I'm going to do is just, I think I'm going to do this based on an edge. So let's convert this back to an editable poly. Go to edge. And we'll just shift drag this out. Like so. I'll probably have to remap that just to kind of remove all that stretching of that texture, but that's okay. At this point, I can take these two vertices and just snap that to those. And then I can remove the other polys. That should be good. Alright, we're gonna find out here in a second how this is gonna work out. Snap these back over here. I'll remap that later. And we'll do the same thing with the rest of these. When that snaps off. That out. We're snap these over there. So this poly should be facing, oh, it is not facing inward, okay. So we will have to flip these. Like so. Now another thing I can do is I can detach this and bring it over to these other ones pretty easily, or just continue to shift drag and the edge of all these individual doors. Either way, it'll get the job done. And we'll have to remap that though, like I said, so to get rid of the stretching of that texture. That won't be a big issue though. Hopefully the crayons are tasting good as far as for those that are indulging into using them as snacks. You use them however you feel is necessary, I guess, as far as so you don't feel like you're being left out. You need a little bit of munchies to kind of subside, I guess, as far as your hunger for what I'm doing here, then feel free to go ahead and do that. No judgment. I think this is going to work out pretty good, actually. Alright, so I think I'll just grab this edge. Yeah, because otherwise I'll grab the texture of the wall there, I think. I'll just do it from this edge and bring it over this way, yeah. That'll work. Yep, that'll work. Marvelous. Okay, so let's see what we got in the other corner. Okay, we got it almost filled in. Sweet. Now what we can do is grab these polys and remove those. We don't need these on our interior walls. Let's go ahead and take all these out. Oh, we got a vert. Oh, these got rounded corners on this too. I forgot about that. So we're gonna go by vertex. Make sure we get all this out of here. Nope. There we go. Ooh, that does not go straight across either. That's interesting. Interesting. Okay, hold on. We might have to adjust this vert. Once I bring the walls back in, the outside walls back in, I'll check and see what those look like there. But it's looking to me like this is not straight across here. Very noticeable. Alright, so let's go ahead and get all these out. And we'll go by vertex, get all of this out. That's those rounded corners that we don't really need. Okay. Just a little bit of cleanup is all. Okay, moving right along. Just kind of hoping this would go pretty straightforward, and so far it seems to be. So far it seems to be. So far, so good. I'm being careful not to take that one that I've created already. That one we want to keep. That one we do definitely want to keep. Okay, so now we're to this level. Now if I bring back the outside walls, this is object 1. now we can get a better sense of how this is going to look. So we'll have this interior, and we already have on the outside here, which should already be visible like that. Now we have our interior pieces to kind of close that bump out for those doors. Now the only other question is do we want to put something on the top here to fill that in? Probably not really going to see that in all actuality. So in an effort to not add too much unnecessary poly weight, I might just leave those out on the top there, because from the ground level there, you're not going to see that. Not going to see that. But it looks like I do need to actually create a top. Did that not have anything there originally? Let me see here. That's why I got this open. Kind of see what it looked like prior. Adjust my light. Oops, wrong one. Yep, so we do have this going on for the ceiling of our door. Okay, so what's going on here? Check this out. Okay, so that's gonna be part of the, okay, no problem. We should be okay. So if we bring back this shape, that should all be right there. There we go. Cool. Yeah, I think we are good to go. So I'll be able to reattach the outside walls back to this original shape that we took it from in the first place. There, we're just trying to establish our interior. So yeah, that's what it'll look like. Let's render this really quick. You should have a panel there that'll be hollow up on the top of that. Let's render that real quick. Yep, so it just makes it just encloses all that in here, so it won't have a hollowness, I guess, as far as there. That should work out pretty good. Let's do a render. You know what? I need to change the lighting on this. Hold on a second. So let's go to environment. Oh yeah, we definitely need to change that. And we'll also change the background. That should work. I think that's going to work out pretty good, actually. So you can see where it gives us some clarity, I guess, as far as where we added the polys that have the misskewing there. Gonna add there's still some back face culling with the way it renders, but I can see here, I guess, as far as in particular, move it down here, render that again. I think we should be good to go. Yep, so all it basically does is just fill in that void that previously existed without having interior, just by bringing that straight across on these bump outs in the interior. So yeah, I think that'll work out. Awesome. Other than needing to re-UV map that so it doesn't have all that texture stretching in there. That should be the only thing we'll have to adjust. Okay. So now what I'll do is I'll take back out these two. Hide those. Alright, let's get back to just our interior. Oh, the other thing I needed to look at is how these ends here, you can definitely see how not straight across, I guess, as far as that is there. Seems very obvious how much this is not straight across here, especially on these panels. Oh, alright, let me bring back object 1. And let me take a closer look at how those look. I may just have to leave it that way, Let's go complete top down. Whoa. Actually, maybe it's not. Maybe it's supposed to be the trick of the eye. That's what I want to check. So we're looking at top down. One other way we can definitely check to see, we can check out on the X here. That's at 6.5 meters. That's at 6.5 meters, so it is straight across. Okay. So that's a confirmation there that that shape, even though it does look like it's skewed, it is not. 6.5 on the X. 6.5 on the X. So yep, that is definitely straight across. Okay. So confirm. We do not need to do anything about that. Just trick of the eye, I guess, as far as almost looks like it's kind of skewed. Not straight across there. Alright. On with our business. So we can rehide object 1. And continue to work on our inside walls. So I think for the most part, other than needing to retexture those better, actually need to take a look at how the texture was applied, I guess, as far as on the outside wall, so I know better how to fix this UV map, I guess, as far as for texture on our inside. Alright, so let's go ahead and hide this for a second. Bring back our outside walls. And we'll do an unwrap of this. We'll bring in our texture. You can get a sense of how this texture is mapped for our outside walls here. So just like I mentioned previously, it is horizontally repeated, I guess, as far as the longness. So you have to picture, I guess, as far as that the texture is tiled on the horizontal, and all of our UV, I guess, as far as for our model, is in a horizontal fashion. Okay. That's not what we're concerned about. What we're concerned about is how these pieces here are actually textured. So let's go, I guess this one already had highlighted. So let's go to here. And where's that? Oh, it's up here. Okay, gotcha. So not only is it the texture is tiled horizontally, but also vertically. So picture, if you will, this texture is just like filled in, I guess, as far as below this here. So we got different parts. I don't know why they do this. I've noticed on a lot of other default Giants models, they do tend to put different UVs instead of keeping them down at ground zero here. They tend to spread them out. Not sure why they do that. I'll be honest. Okay, so this is how this is mapped here. So what I am going to do, just to kind of get a sense of where that's tiled or where that's mapped to the texture, I need to change. I was going to remember here. I need to tile this. Let's remember, here it is, preferences. So I need to tile this like so. You can see actually where that's mapped. So you can see it's in the concrete part of the texture. So this is the same orientation that I would like to have for our new piece on our interior walls. I just wanted to get an idea of how that was done. Oops. So that's how they did it, right? That. Okay. At least I know how they did that part. Sweet. So I want to duplicate that, replicate that, I guess, as far as on our interior walls. I think for now I'm going to leave that unwrapped to it, but I do want to hide this again. Let's bring back our interior walls. Okay. And then we're going to unwrap this guy. Same way as it did as our outside walls. Okay. And we do have some items up in there, much the same as our outside walls. Okay. So these here are located right up here. So again, I'm going to tile the texture. Options, preferences, there we go. So we need to tile this, like so. So these here, since we based it on an edge, I guess as far as to make that new poly, it actually just made it flat, and that's why it's skewing, because it's just basically stretching it across that edge. First when we make it. So to correct that, we do quick planer. It's going to put it down here initially, but I'm going to rotate it this way and put it right back up here. Kind of keep everything all in the same spot as the outside walls. Just put it right up here. So eventually all these pieces, these are all based on the new polys that we created, will end up being in the same spot. Okay, so there's one, and we can take a look at how that looks here, like so. Marvelous. You know what I think it is, now that I look at this, as far as that vert, it might be just lower, and it's not so much on the X, but it's more on the Z. In any case, I think we're just going to leave it that way, because it does still line up, I guess, as far as with our outside wall. I think it'll look fine in the long run. Okay, so we got this one. Let's do the same thing. Gonna do quick planer. Gonna put it down here. Rotate it that way and slide it up here. Now, I think what I'm gonna do is put the rest of these. I'm just gonna do this really quick, and then I'm gonna actually do a grid snap to put those all in one location. I think that's the way I'm going to do that. Oh wait, did I put that in the wrong spot? I think I did. Well, yeah, so that's not going to stay there, so that'll be fine for the time being. That's fine for the time being. Alright, so let's go to... Wait, what's happening? Okay. What the world? Why is that not selecting that? Oh, I didn't flip this one yet, that's why. What the heck's going on? Okay, so I still gotta flip these, I forgot. We did the two, but I didn't do these other ones. My bad. Alright, so what I'll do... Yeah, while I'm still in unwrap, I'm gonna go ahead and do that first, and then, no problem. I just gotta remember to flip them is all. Otherwise, they'll be facing the wrong way. Okay, so we're just over an hour and 10 minutes. Cool. Making sure it looks like we're still out here. Still Gucci. Hope everybody else is being Gucci as well. Yeah, so I'm just going to put these all right here for now. Eventually what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up grid snapping it, them all together in this one strip here for the concrete. One step at a time. Alright, so let's do this. That. Get it that way. Whoa, I don't know why I did that. That's weird. That's interesting. I don't know why I did that. Normally this guy is usually right on top of, huh. Yeah, see, just like that one. I don't know why that one was rotated kind of weird. But there it goes. Nope, that's the way it should be. That crosshair should be right over top of that, like that. Yep. Alright, cool. We're good. I don't know why I did that, but whatever. And next. Moving right along. Take it that way. Bring it up here. So I'm just loosely putting these into position for now, and then we'll get them grid snap onto that strip for the texture. I need to flip these. I don't want to forget to flip these. Remind me, chat. I don't want to forget to flip these polys. I still got these 4 here to do. I did 2 of them. or the one of them anyway. I just gotta ensure it gets as far as they're all flipped proper direction is all. Alright, so do that. Get it that way. See, it did that again, you son of a gun anyway. Not sure why it's doing that, but it seems to correct itself after I deselect it and reselect it. Alright, cool. As long as it does that, then we're okay. Alright, now that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we got 6 panels here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Cool. What we want to do, I'll probably set them up the same size as this one here. But it looks like what I need to do is I'm going to straighten these up. So, cool. Now this is going to be our base as far as for what size we want to make the rest of these. Okay, let's take this one, and we're going to turn on our grid snaps. This needs to be placed over here. I'm going to vertex mode. Okay, now we can grid snap these one at a time. Use this tool. That should snap right over top of it. You know, we can put these all in the same exact spot of the texture. And we'll do the same thing for all the rest of them. Just that simple. Alright, so we're going to move this guy, scale down. We'll get it initially sized up, where we want it to go, and then we can grid snap the rest of it. Going into vertex mode. This keeps the polys nice and clean, and not all kind of scattered about. Makes for a really nice UV map. Really already starting to get anxious, I guess, as far as how this is going to look once we reapply this to our model here in the editor. So probably what I'll end up doing, so because of the poly weight that we're adding to the interior, one of the things I'm considering to do with this here is to actually remove the doors altogether from this. So the garage doors, in this fashion, those will just go away, because then we'll then have an interior, so we won't really need the doors. So this is kind of my own way of balancing it out, because I'm adding so much more poly weight to the interior. What polys can I remove, I guess, as far as to balance that out? And one way to do this is to take out the doors. So to make use, I guess, as far as the interior that we're applying. Put more emphasis on the interior as opposed to the doors on the exterior. Alright, so let's grid snap these. And whether or not, like I mentioned earlier, I guess as far as I consider, as far as to make this with animated doors, again, because this is being considered as a production, there's pretty minimal things that you can do, I guess, as far as to make things animated within a production. What I've come to find, very, very limited. Not that saying that you couldn't put animated doors to it, but I don't think there's really any necessity to have that. That makes sense. Okay. Appreciate anybody that's stopping in, I guess, as far as to chime in to see what we got going on here for Spline Design Studios Saturday. We're just getting a little bit creative. Like to do a little bit change of pace, I guess, as far as from my playing some of these builder simulators. What I did come to find, that being said, they've got construction sim on Steam for like 35% off. I'm just wondering how many out there, I guess, as far as if actually do have construction sim, or have, if you don't have it, have considered, I guess, as far as purchasing it. But that big of it. That's the biggest discount that I've seen since it came out last November. Last October or November. Hard to believe it's been that long already. But the fact that this is the first discount on Steam that I've seen construction sim at, it's very tempting. I'm very tempted. I got other things I gotta pay for, but it's like, hell dang it anyway, 35%. It's hard to beat that. Hard to not notice that. So we got all those grid snap, I guess, as far as that one section to our texture. Now the only thing I gotta do is gotta flip these. Let's go ahead and collapse all. Hippers. Okay, so the only thing we gotta do is flip. You gotta just remember which ones we gotta flip yet. That one's good. That one's good. This one is not. So this needs to be flipped. This one needs to be. Yep, that one needs to be flipped. This one needs to be flipped. And that one needs to be flipped. Cool. Now they're all facing towards the inside. Sweet. And again, I'm taking the initiative to not add too much more poly weight. You know, adding too much poly weight, I guess, as far as is kind of the name of the game. We don't want to make sure we don't do that. So if we can keep polys removed, if it's not going to be all that in focus or in view, then we're definitely going to take that approach. Alright, so I think we're pretty much set with the, and this is really starting to bug me of how far down that these drop. That's really starting to get my OCD now. So if we go to the front view, yeah, so it's definitely lower on that. I don't know why that's like that. Let's actually bring back our outside walls again, which will be, okay. I'm really curious as to go ahead and fix that on both outside and inside walls. Yeah, that is really starting to trigger me. Definitely starting to trigger me. Okay, so what we're gonna do, front view. Yep, it definitely does, especially just on these end ones for some reason. Not sure why they've done that. That's interesting. So can we see that? Is that evident even on the model here? Let me see here. Not really that I can tell. Oh, yep, it sure does. Ever so slightly, but wow. But yeah, it does have a little bit of a angle to that on these, and just the ones on the ends, it seems like. Let's see. What I'm looking at particularly is right here. That should be the same as what we see here. Wow, that is crazy. Okay, hold on a second. So if we go like this, oh, this still has the unwrap on it. Let me go ahead and close that down on this. Got the information that we needed off of that. So what is this Z at? This Z, it says it's at 0. Okay, so this is where we want to be at this level. Are these all at 0? Yep, so all these are at 0. So for this some reason, seems to be not at 0. Very peculiar. Yeah, so you can definitely see on the Z here, it's up by 0.126. If I zero that out, that puts it there. Wow. That is actually pretty interesting. So, yeah, I'm actually considering this as far as to adjust that. Very interesting. All right, let me check in the model here. Oh, I see why. So, because we didn't include... Okay, I see why it's doing it. Never mind. So, that's this angle right here. So, because we did not include this part in here, I actually need to keep that like that if I want to... okay. So, yeah, we will not adjust that then. You have to make sure not to do that. This Y is at 0. That one's already at 0. This one's going to have to come down. For our interior, yes. Throw that one out. That out. Okay, so that's not welded, okay. Oops, I bring all those verts down to 0. So, this should be the premise to be able to make our floor. Having those all at the same level. So yeah, for at least our interior, we're going to have to put these all to 0. That should be fine. Now I can do these all individually or do them at once, because it doesn't really matter. Some of these verts are definitely not welded. I might take the initiative and go around there and make sure all those are welded. Yep, these are definitely not welded, okay. A little bit of a pet peeve in me, I guess, as far as when the vertices are not welded. But a lot of that probably did present itself, I guess, as far as when we apply the detach, so. Yeah, in a lot of cases when you apply a detach process to it, it does tend to unweld some of the vertices. And I think that's what's happened here in some of the cases here. So we'll go back around, I guess, as far as to make sure all these are welded. Yep, see, that's another one that's not welded. Some of them are and some of them aren't. Okay. Not a big deal. We'll just make sure all of them are welded one by the time we're done here. Keeping in mind, I guess, as far as the extent to which I'm adjusting this is not going to hurt the texture. Still mapped, I guess, as far as we're only adjusting that little bit, I guess, as far as on the one axis. In this case, the Z. This is going to create a means for us to create a floor for this interior as well. Okay. Now, I'm going to go back around here and weld all these vertices that are not welded. So that's just one vertice there. That is two. We'll go ahead and weld it. That's two vertices. We'll weld that. That's one vertice. One vertice. One vertice. Weld that. Oh, see, again, I gotta pay attention to it doing this. So let me render this real quick. Don't like when it steps on the poly like that. Yeah, we're getting some backface calling there, and that's to be expected. Okay, that didn't do too bad. Just, sometimes it'll, it's just good to check that out there, because if it did leave a scar, I guess, as far as on that poly there, I would definitely want to do it a different way. Alright, so that's one vertice, one vertice. That needs to be welded. Okay. One vertice, one vertice, one vertice, one vertice. So far, it's kind of like half and half. That's one vertex. That needs to be welded. Okay, I saw the poly shift there a little bit, but it looks like it was for the good. Two, so we gotta weld that. Okay. One vertice. One vertice. That needs to be welded. Yep, so did it there again. Let me go ahead and render that. Just to make sure it didn't put a scar on that. Yeah, so other than the backface culling that we're getting as far as between the inside and outside, that's not a big deal. That one needs to be welded. Cool. One vertice. One vertice. One vertice. These should all just be one. These are the new polys that we created ourselves. Yep. All of these shears should be good. Let's go check this corner again real quick. Marvelous. Alright, so now we got all those vertices welded. Awesome sauce. So this is where we're at so far, I guess, as far as with our interior. So if I render this, north back facing. I gotta remember what it was, I guess, as far as to remove back face culling. Nothing else, I can always choose a different render. Might just do that. Yep, I'm gonna have to choose a different render. Okay, no problem. Go to render setup. And let's use here. I don't want the draft, that's for sure. I'm gonna do a 3D scan line. Let's do this one. There we go. So this is what our interior looks like at this point. Do I have the outside walls still in here? Let me see here. I think I do. Yep. Let me take these out for a second. Let's hide those. So this is just our interior walls. And this really bugs me as far as that. So as long as those aren't present when we render it, it should be okay. Yep, so that's the one angle. You can see what's going to be on the inside. So that's from this angle. Now if I spin this around, yeah, we're not seeing these dark spots in the render, so that's good. Hopefully it stays that way. Yep. So this is what we'll see on the inside at this point. That spot right there. Okay, that must be that right there. Okay, hold on. That must be this spot right there. Okay, looking at this right there, there's that spot. Okay, so we should have a closer look over the top piece. Yep, that should be good. Yeah, and just like I was mentioning earlier, we won't have anything on the top of these pillars here because you won't really be able to see it. So it's not going to be that big a deal. All right, let me do. I want to change. Oh my gosh, it's already dark. Weird. Okay. I'm gonna change the background color then. Oh, almost looked better the other way. Okay, just double checking here. So what I was trying to hopefully control. Gotta turn this bad boy down is what we need to do. There we go. Alright, so when we render it, it won't be kind of washed out. Okay, now I just gotta change the background. Background, keep that a little bit more dark. Need some offset. That's better. Cool. Yeah. We're in pretty good shape so far. Okay, now. Next thing we want to do, I think, is the roof. I think the floor I'm going to do last. Because we had no floor to be based on, I guess, as far as initially. So probably what I'll end up doing is taking one of these edges for the bottom edge of our wall and just drag that out. That'll be the easiest approach. And then we can map it to somewhere on that texture. Probably that concrete. We'll just see what we got. I think that concrete that's on that texture will probably work out pretty good. Is what I'm thinking. Alright, so we need to bring our roof, which should be object 2. Yep. So, same thing what we did for the interior walls. We need to clone this guy. Pivot, make sure that's centered. Okay. We need to clone it. And do that as a copy. We'll do this as interior roof. Or ceiling, however you want to put it. Either way, just so we have some clarity in our items list here. Alright, so that should be created. Let's go ahead and hide this here for a second. Don't want to step on that. Now, let's see what we got to do with this. There may not be anything we have to do. So we left the trim off, as we remember. Gotta look and see, what do we need to adjust on this here? I think what looks like we need to do... Oh crap. Don't have anything selected in there, that's why we're getting all wonky. Alright, so let's do this. Vertex. It's on that one right there. So I want to take a particular close look at how this roof marries up to this, just with having that trim on. So it looks like, if nothing else, what we'll need to do is bring the top of the walls and snap the inner walls up to this roof, just to accommodate for the lack of trim that's on the outside. Yep. I think that's okay, so do we gotta bring it up, or do we just need to bring the roof down? Let's see here. Let's see here. Decisions. So the other thing I'm thinking of too, for our interior, we don't need the overhang. Okay. Okay, so I think what we can do with our interior, modifying the openings for this here, we should again, there's going to be a lot of thinking, I guess, as far as how I want to go about this. Let's try and snap these fillers top of our wall here, because I'm thinking we're not going to need, so we got an angle on both the Z and the X. Okay, so Z should all be the same. This is going to get tricky here. Okay, hold on. Trying to figure out how I want to do this. So I think on my interior walls, what I'm going to have to do, just so I know what I can snap to, I need to actually extend this out on this part here. So because right now there's nothing for me to snap to, as far as on that part. Let me bring that back. Both of those. Let's hide our interior roof for the time being. And let's extend out. Yep. And this is just going to be temporary. I'll end up being able to remove it after I'm done. So let's go. Nope, we're going to do this based on edge. We'll grab these edges. This should work out in theory. Just like much of anything on here, it's always in theory. Now that I think of this, it's probably not going to work the way I was hoping. I can extend this out. See, what I really need is to have one continuous poly Okay, I think I got an idea. I think I got an idea of my work. Let's see here. What happened there? Uh-oh, hold on. We got something there. Oh, I don't need that edge. This is I don't need, okay. Alright, I think I got an idea. Let's see if this works. So let's stretch this out like so. Now, if I select... Oh shoot, I did that wrong. Not what I wanted. So, try it again. Let's pull that out just a little bit, and I'm going to grab all these verts. And when I'm... Attention, because we got the slope of that, so that we got two directions, I guess, as far as on both the X and the Z that's going to change on all these verts. What I'm going to attempt to do is snap while all these are selected to this vert. Not so that they all shift here, but they'll go on the same angle. That makes sense. So if we go like this, oh man, it's probably not going to work the way I was hoping. Or did it? I think it did actually. Sweet, so it actually did snap it. Check it over here. So by selecting all those verts, kept it at the same slope, although that way I didn't have to do each individual one at a time, I guess, as far as to get that proper slope. This is only going to be a temporary, because I'm not going to need to keep this here once we get our roof to where it needs to be. And now I got something to go by, I guess, as far as where to snap our roof piece, I guess, as far as to that. Pretty cool. Nate's on fire using the crayons. That's what we got available, I guess, as far as for those that feeling left out. Welcome in, Nate. Nate's on fire. Just checking out that my summer car stream, I guess, as far as you had going on there. I kind of missed the end of it, unfortunately. So hopefully, I know you were trying to work your way over to the dance hall. Not sure if you did or not, without dying. So hopefully you did. What we doing while there, Nate's on fire? Yeah, that's what we got the crayons for. If you're feeling a little bit left out, it's very it's very prominent, I guess, as far as for that to happen here. I guess as far as on Saturdays, as we get creative. So that's why I got that out there. You just went home and saved. Gotcha. So you didn't make it over to the dance hall? I got a very interesting approach, I guess, as far as to playing the My Summer Car in comparison to other ones, and that's meant to be a good thing. I like to see the variety, I guess, as far as in gameplay, and not to see the same way, I guess, as far as just about every My Summer Car stream that I've come across, as far as it always has its own playthrough. You know, so it's not cookie cutter in that sense. Holy crap!
Hey bud, stopping in for a few.
Stopping in for a few. What's going on there, Racer James? Holy crap. Officially 4 years, 48 months in total. Like, holy crap. How's it been going there, Racer James? Yeah, it's been a while since we've been able to do these Spline Design Studios Saturdays, I guess, as far as, to date, this should be like the third one that we've done in quite some time, so yeah. Going well over there? Cool. I heard some stuff going on there, and I don't know if that was in your neck of the woods. Maybe you can feel free to, I kind of had it on, I was wondering, so they had that train wreck. I'm sure you've probably heard about it. As far as that chemical train wreck, I guess, as far as there's, hopefully that wasn't in your neck of the woods. So as far as evacuations and all. Yeah. So hopefully that was not northeast. I am southwest. Well, that's good that it wasn't in your neck of the woods, because I read up on that as far as what was going on there. It's like that was not a very cool thing. Yeah, so it's good to know, I guess, as far as that didn't affect you at all. And also, welcome in with that. 4 years. I know it's definitely been longer than that, I guess, as far as that you've been supporting the channel, but glad to have you back in. So we're doing a little bit of modeling based on a pre-existing model for Farming Simulator 22. We're just kind of adding a little bit more detail to it without breaking it too much. So yeah, just kind of showing off some of the things that we can and can't do. So far, everything is working out so good. So we're trying to make an interior to this model, just to kind of add some clarity. So this model by default does not have an interior, and so it's got just the minimal amount of interior to give it the sense that it does have an interior from the outside. And yeah, we're just trying to make it a little bit more detailed because we want to use this for a production that we're trying to create. Yeah, and we want to have an interior to it. So the construct of the building is actually, it's done pretty well. From what we kind of, we've made some minor adjustments to it, you know, to kind of tweak what we felt was kind of not good with it. But so what you came into, I guess, as far as before all that there, Rachel James, was it did not have any polys going, so this was all non-existent. So what we were able to do, and I wasn't 100% sure if it was going to work, I'm glad that it did, was to shift drag all these polys based on this edge right along here. We drug that out, and then by selecting all these individual vertices and having the vert snap on there, we're able to snap all of those in the same trajectory, same orientation as just one vert. That was actually pretty cool. So what that's going to do, and I don't intend to keep these polys here, I just need a guide as to where to put our interior roof. So I'm going to bring that back in here real quick. I didn't have anything to snap to prior to doing that step. So we're going to go on hide by name and bring our interior roof back like so. Now I've got something to snap to on a roof. So it'll either be the edge or the vertice, depending on how these vertices on the inner roof actually work. This is interesting. Well, I'm glad you find it interesting there, Nate. That's what we try to do, I guess, in a way, with Saturdays. So I'll even use My Summer Car as an example as far as Top Gun or Topless Gun, right? Let's not get it wrong. So Topless Gun, the creator and developer for My Summer Car, is pretty much the one, I guess, as far as it creates all the library and such, I guess, as far as it's in the game, to include the trees and buildings and the car. So this is what I like to show here on Saturdays as far as what actually goes into creating these types of things, right? They don't just, you know, they don't just poof in out of thin air, I guess, as far as to be there for you to use, I guess, as far as and interact with, I guess, as far as in a game. So like I've already mentioned, this particular building is being constructed and put together, I guess, as far as for use in Farming Simulator 22 as a production, and it's based on an existing item that's already in the game, solely available. I pulled this out of one of the default maps as far as Elm Creek, and we're just adding a little bit more detail to it to be able to use it for, you know, a repurpose, if you will. Yeah. So I'm glad you're finding it interesting there, Nate's on Fire. And if you got any questions, feel free to ask. No, there's no dumb questions here. No dumb questions here. But feel free if you feel so inclined. So now that I've got that edge there now that I just created, I got somewhere to snap our interior roof. Hence the reason why I probably won't end up keeping those polys, because again, I'm trying to minimize how much poly weight that we're actually adding to the model. We're already adding quite a bit, I guess, as far as it is, because it really had no interior to begin with. So yeah. Okay. Let's go ahead and vert snap this to here, like we did initially. And I think what I'm going to end up having to do with the way these verts are lining up with that piece that we created previously is to just snap it to the edge. Because we don't necessarily want to snap to the vert because it's not going to line it up the same way as we got here currently. So I'm going to actually put this on edge snap, drag it out this way, and we can snap it just like so. Yep, that should work out pretty good. So that's going to help maintain, I guess, as far as that same. Now we may have to straighten these out a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be too terrible. And keeping in mind this is going to be on the interior, so. But yeah, that's going to work out really nice as far as to have something to snap to at this instead of just being dead air. So Rachel James, if you're still sticking around, I guess as far as for a few minutes, has there been any 3D projects that you've been working on lately, or just been kind of taking a break from it? Feel free to let us know. Yeah, that'll work. It works out nice. So nice, yeah. So that's going to actually close it up here, I guess, as far as that. And then, like I said, I don't really need to keep this poly here because you're not going to see that. Because if we were to bring the exterior roof out, the side that face on the to the outside, you're not going to see any of that. So I'll probably remove those polys that are not going to be visible. No problem there, Nate. We will be here. Yeah, so what we're also trying to get to is the point where we can actually, you know, put this together and see the fruits of our labor in its element, as far as in this case Farm Sim 22, and see how it turns out so far. It's turning out pretty good. You've been hooked on Legos since November, building a whole city in the Bay. Oh crap! That sounds pretty cool. You have to post some pictures in the Rock Nation Discord, if you could. If you have any, definitely feel free to share. Legos, man, I have to tell you, I guess, as far as I was heavy into Legos myself.
Evan the Bandito says, "Bo chicka bow wow."
Bow chicka bow wow. You gotta love the way Aditi, I guess, as far as says some of those. Bow chicka bow wow. She said that almost perfectly too. What's going on there, Evan? Bow chicka bow wow. Yeah, that is a new feature. That's another new one. That's another new channel point redemption, I guess, as far as it's been added, as well as the TTS. So, if in any case, you can feel free, I guess, as far as to use those to either get my attention or for your own entertainment. That's what they're there for. That's a new one. The hello, that's a new one. I felt I needed something, so I got the wave emote. So if you're following the channel, you have the wave, you know, as far as the emote for that, but also that channel point redemption, I guess, as far as for the hello. So there should be no excuse, I guess, as far as for anybody dropping in, I guess, as far as to not just say hello. Try to make it, you know, easy enough, I guess, as far as for people to do that. That stop by. Alright, so re-snap this. There we go. Trying to keep those relatively straight. Yeah, so I think I am making them a little bit crooked, and I can always go back through this and check on the Y. In fact, I can do that right now. Let's turn this off, and we can at least get the Y correct. So we can go to this one. That Y is actually at 0. That's interesting. So that must be the center of the model. Cool. That must be dead center of the model. So if we go with this one, that's gonna have, yep. So yeah, that's dead center of the model. That's absolute 0. So let's actually make sure that's at 0. It's not. So we'll go ahead and shift that over. Now we know it's straight. So for this one, we can copy this Y and make sure this one's at the same Y. Just like so. Nice. Marvelous. Alright, so we'll do this one. While we're at it, just to ensure we're staying nice and straight before snapping it the way it does, because we don't have a, now if we had a vert to snap to, it would be like pretty dead set, but the fact that we're doing on an edge, it has the means, I guess, as far as to shift on that Y, I guess, as far as a little bit. So just to kind of correct that, we can always check these other Y's, and just in order to keep those all in a straight line, then that's one way to do it. Cool. Alright, let's check this one too while we're at it. Most of these are not too far off. I eyeballed it pretty good, I suppose. Yep. Did it pretty good. Sweet. So we just got these other ones here to line up yet. That one's good. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be removing these here because we're not going to see that once we bring our outside wall. So I don't think I'm going to need to do that to the backside as much. I think the backside we're pretty good to go. Now, wait, does this not have an overhang? Let me check this out here. So must only have an overhang over the doors. Who's mooing? You got a nasty cold, been taking NyQuil and sleeping all day? Well, at least you're just chilling out. Just day to chill out. Appreciate you stopping by, even though you're feeling under the weather. Hopefully we can subside, I guess, as far as feeling miserable. Yeah, so this side doesn't have much of an overhang. That's interesting. It's got a little bit, but not quite as much as it does on the front. Very interesting. And part of the reason why it's got the more overhang is because you got these bump outs here, which we already took care of that for our interior. So, okay. Still in good shape. Nice. The other thing I could do if I wanted to is I could actually push this inward here and then just make that entire interior just flush. Because right now as it is, that would definitely take care of our hollowness. It's on the top of these. So yeah, we got some improvements we can make as we go along. Slept from 5 p.m. yesterday till 9 a.m. That's a full 8 hours. Then 1 to 5:30. That's a massive sleep there, I have to imagine. You're getting some pretty crappy weather down there too. I know we got a nice hit of snow, I guess, as far as we had to deal with. Okay, that's green. Cool. Yeah, I'll adjust the Y there, I guess, as far as I'll get these last ones. So this one here we should be able to vert snap on the end. There we go. Got that turn green, that's good. Now, let's adjust the Y. Oh man, I just got a couple of these. So we got these three here to adjust. So we need this Y. Y, ask Y. There we go. Now we know what lines up. Been wet and mushy. Non-stop rain. Yikes. No wonder why got it cold. What has the temperatures been? All that rain. Just out of curiosity. We've been struggling to get out of the freezing. So it's been not in the sub-zeros, but it's, you know, especially even with the wind chill, but definitely been struggling to get out of the higher than the freezing zone. And it is still winter, so I guess that's fair, but still, I'm so ready for winter to be done. So ready. Alright, so this one we can actually vert snap. Close the edge snap, because we do have a vert to be able to snap to. Whoop. Helps when you turn it on, though. There you go. Sweet. Yeah, now to this point, I'm almost thinking for the interior, I might actually just take this here and actually move it inwards and just make that entire inside flush. I might actually consider that. So, rather than leave that bump out, because I've already done the same thing, I guess, as far as with where we had the bump outs. Yeah, so I'm thinking just to keep that all nice and flush on the inside instead of having a cavity up above that. I think I might just do that. Yeah, so there is our interior roof. Let's do this. Let's put this on an angle. We should Actually, I don't think I flipped these yet, so that's another thing I need to do. The only thing we did do is clone the outside roof. Right now they're still facing outward, like so. Oh shoot, totally boo-booed. Yeah, so with those all selected like that, that's our interior roof. I'm gonna flip these. Like so. Now they're all facing this way, towards the inside. Now if we render this, I want to make sure. Yep, we should be able to see that. I render that. Ta-da! So, yeah, if I would have left them flipped the other way, we would not have been able to see this on the inside. So we're able to maintain all the cutouts for the sunlights that are in the outside roof. So we're not losing any of that aspect. That's pretty cool. So this is what our interior looks like so far. Pretty good. So I think I am going to make this adjustment, I guess, as far as to this, to not have it bumped out or bumped in, I guess, as far as from the inside, and just make it flush. Just take this poly, detach it from our interior walls, move it out to here, and just fill that all in. I think that'll work good. We don't need that level of detail on the interior, really. Okay. Let me hide our roof for now, so we can get at this. So. The other thing I'm kind of considering, I don't know if it's necessary, probably not. So I think what I'll do is just detach all of these here, so that I can actually push it to be level with this part of the wall, right? And just remove that. Yep.
Nope.
What do you mean nope? Don't tell me nope. 50, 60 during the day and 30 in the morning. That's actually not too bad. What do you mean nope? Don't tell me nope. Tell me nope. Alright, let's take a look and see how this will work if we do this. See, we weren't able to use it again because it's on cooldown. See, I got a lot of those redemptions on cooldown for a reason. And not because of misuse necessarily. Well, maybe a little bit. But also just to give other people a chance, I guess, as far as to use it as well. Okay, so we're going to detach all these fellers. And it's already facing the direction we want it to go. That's half the battle. Let's detach that. Object 3, I just want to make sure that's confirmed. Alright, cool. Let's center that. Give it. So. And now what I can do is actually get the Y. No, that would be the X on on this wall. Any one of these verts on this wall that I want to push that out to, I just need to get that X for it. So if I choose, say, for example, this X, 6.5 meters. So we'll copy that. And because we centered that pivot of this piece, we can move it to what we just copied here, like so. That pushes that out so that it's flush with this wall, as well as these other pieces that we created earlier. And then all this other nonsense, we don't need it anymore. Don't need it no more. Someone posted in my Discord. Let me see here. Oh, we got some stuff. Hold on. We got some stuff on the Discord. Racer James is posting some pictures, I think, as far as on the Rock Nation Discord. Let's go check this out real quick. There are the links. Thank you, bot, for putting that out there. Holy crap. This is where it began. Good grief. Let me see here. Oh, I see. You just DM me that. I got you. It got out of hand quickly. I can see that. I might have to post these over to Razor James, I know you sent me this into a DM. If you want to put those into the Rock Nation Discord, into the general media, or even in the creative channel, feel free to do that. Holy smack. Yeah. Appreciate the follow. Who was that? Twitch Rogu? I don't know if that is actually... Hopefully it is a real person. Hopefully it is. I know sometimes we do get some bots, so feel free to say hi. We do have the hello. I guess as far as sound bit redemption, so feel free to say hello. Let us know that you are somebody real. Hold on, your folks. I'm gonna actually... Is this okay? Richard James, you're still in the chat there. I guess as far as is it okay for me to show? I know you sent me as a DM, but let me know, I guess, as far as if I can show those on stream. Yeah, it definitely looks like it definitely got out of hand. I didn't have it to that. I didn't have it to that extreme, I guess, as far as the Legos I had. Posting a few over in the media. All right, cool. So either general media, or even if you want to put it in, we got the creative channel in the Rock Nation Discord as well. That is definitely pretty creative. With the Lego, that's a whole Lego city. Holy crap! So you've been keeping busy, I guess, as far as in being creative, I guess, as far as in the physical sense. We're kind of doing that in the virtual sense, I suppose, with this model. But yeah. Oh, okay. So you did say it's fine. Let's take a time out here real quick, folks, and just kind of enjoy this a little bit. That is just the staging area. I haven't even constructed the actual city yet. Holy crap. Sure does look like it's pretty good to me. Alright, so hold on a second, folks. Let's bring up... I was checking that on my phone. Hopefully this doesn't crash the stream. Sometimes bringing Discord up, as long as it doesn't have any updates, we should be fine. Alright, cool. Let's check this out here real quick. Yeah, whatever. So the live stream went... You did put those in general media? Sure did. Alright, cool. Yeah, these could definitely fall right under the category of creative too. But yeah, check this out, folks. Let me blast this up here a little bit. There we go. Check these pictures out. So this is just a staging area, as you mentioned there, Racer James. Wow. Yeah, see, I remember some of these buildings. I think that's part of the city system, I guess, as far as... Oh my god, look at the detail. Got the little fruits in there. Yeah, I never had anything this intricate, I guess, as far as my Legos. Yep, still putting some stuff together. Oh, I like the little bins that you got, I guess, as far as for keeping all the parts. I'm assuming you probably have all the instructions for these too. Or are you just winging it, putting the stuff together? Jazz Club. Wow, there's some really cool... That is pretty freaking neat, I'd have to admit. I've seen some pretty cool Legos, but these are by far, I guess, as far as... yeah, feel free to post some more of those, if you so wish. There, Racer James. That's pretty cool. I'd take a little bit of a time out, I guess, as far as to appreciate being a little bit creative, either in the physical sense, such as that, or even virtually. The Green Fresh Market and Ace Hardware is all custom. Oh, that's custom? So are those ones that you created on your own? Or is there an actual kit for those? I've never seen those, that's for sure. I know Lego did have like a city, what do you call it? Yeah, a city system, I guess, as far as like that, but I don't think there was anything like that, that's for sure. I think I had a couple of those like that. Since then, I guess, as far as I've gotten rid of a lot of my Legos, because it was just taking up way too much space. So I had collected those, I guess, as far as going all the way back to when I was a wee little lad. Some of them I got a pretty decent return on my investment, if you will. So I couldn't really pass it up, especially needing the space. So I am noticing, I guess, as far as some rogue vertices here. After moving that forward, I don't think that's going to be a problem. Let me see here. Maybe? Oh, yep, I see what's happening here now. So, okay, I see what it did. So I think what we can do... How did that get like that? Okay, yeah, we got some... Alright, so what I'll do first, we'll get rid of all these polys that we don't need, and then I can kind of clean this up a little bit. Yep. I think it'll work. So we don't need these anymore. It does have a lot of rounded corners, so I think that's kind of what happened there as far. So it's not a big deal. Not a big deal. Let's do this by vertex. I want to make sure I'm not taking out anything I don't want to. Yep, so we got a lot of rogue vertices here from selecting. Yeah, because it had rounded corners on that. Just like we had on our outside walls and such. We had to make sure that... In this case here, we don't need that much detail, I guess, as far as on our interior. We just need to be able to fill in that void, I guess, as far as above our doors. So it's not really a big deal. So we'll just get all these rogue vertices out of here from those rounded corners of that. Based on city playsets, but converted into full buildings. So it's your own design. I guess that was what I was wondering. You kind of took and you made your own. That's pretty stinking cool. Let me look at that again. So you said the Ace Hardware. So there's the fruit one. This one's your own design. Oh, you don't have a... Let me blast this one up here. Whoop. Oh, you want to be like that? Hold on a second. Let's move that over here. So... Oh, crap. Ah! There we go. Let's get a closer look at this here. So you've got a... see, I'll get a closer look here. Some of these do look kind of familiar to me, but so there's a diner. I see a diner. Got this one I do remember being as part of the city system as far as the police station. Those are all Lego designs. Ace is on the very back of the picture. In this picture, that would be... So you got like a city hall. Oh, that's over here. Oh, now I see it. Gotcha. So you made this one all yourself. This one here. Okay, so it's not actually on here, so it's right over here. So this is your own design here. Oh, wow. Yeah, now I see it. So this is probably another one that was a Lego set, part of the city, I'm assuming. That's pretty cool. I think I've seen something like that before. Yeah, some of these pieces for sure I've seen, like the police station, I think the city hall. Definitely not that. Base. That is pretty stinking cool. So you're going to have this all like set up like a... This reminds me of like the setups that you would have, I guess, as far as for a train. You know, having the elaborate landscape and stuff like that. Yeah, this is 3D modeling, I guess, as far as to a reality level. It's pretty cool. So you got the interior. Which one's the interior? Let me see here. Uno momento. So we need to go here. So you got one that's the interior, which is this guy. That's the interior of the Ace Hardware. Gotcha. Check that one out. So this is the interior of the Ace Hardware. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's definitely nothing you would find, I guess, as far as a purchasable item. So you just got random parts for brooms and stuff like that. So you always got that bin. That's kind of like their clearance bin. Imagine that's probably what that's representative of. That's pretty neat. That is pretty neat. So are these stickers? These are stickers of stuff that are on the shelves. Look at this popcorn head. That's funny. It's got random characters and stuff like that in there. That is pretty wild. That is pretty stinky cool, I do have to admit. Pretty impressive. So, how long has it taken you, I guess, as far as to get all this done? I know this is, you said, this is all staging area, but holy crap. How long has that taken? You're working on the stickers for the shelf, so yeah, those are all stickers? Gotcha. I mean, it does add a lot of detail to it, that's for sure. Makes me almost want to get back into Legos again. I've been having too much fun, I guess, as far as lately with the virtual modeling. I'm learning some things, I guess, as far as that are new, that I never really have done before. One of which, I think I've already pointed it out before, and this is evident, I guess, as far as in the potato production that I did and submitted officially to the Giants Mod Hub. I'm going to keep mentioning that because it is something that was a nightmare, I guess, as far as to get it approved, I guess, as far as by Giants to be officially available on the Mod Hub. But one of the things that was kind of a pain to get on there is evident on this building is having the snow volume. So this volume, see if I can just focus on that, which is this guy right here. So what this does, this is the trouble that I had on my potato production to get that approved. They have this thing here, so it's what's called a vertex paint type of deal. So as it snows, as far as the way the weather dynamics in the game work, the more it snows, the more this fills up. So it's not like just a all or none type of thing. It'll actually fill up over time the more it snows in the game, you know, as far as virtually. So these vertex fill volumes are a pain in the butt to create, as far as to get those, because what you essentially have to do is paint all these vertices, I guess, as far as to create nodes, I guess, as far as for where the snow will accumulate to. Just to put it in a nutshell, they are absolute pain in the butt to create. So the fact, this is another reason why I'm using this building that they have available in the game already, that already has one of these, to the conformity of this roof. So yeah, just another reason, I guess, as far as for me to utilize, I guess, as far as a building that already exists. So it's saving me time to have to do those types of things, and gives me more time, I guess, as far as to focus on how I can redesign it. So far, from what we've been able to get accomplished in this little over 2 hours, and a lot of it was just trying to decide how to go about it, but we've been able to get a majority of the interior already done, so it's cool. It's taking us 3 to 5 months. Holy crap. That's understandable. Now, I'd imagine you're probably just doing that like on the weekends, or just when you have a little bit of time during the week. I mean, you're not making it like a 9 to 5 job. I would hope, because I can speak from experience, I guess, as far as doing something like that. You get burned out with it, you know, pretty easily if you tend to do that. So just to maintain some level of enjoyment of it, sometimes you just gotta take a break. So the way I take a break, I guess, as far as from doing the virtual modeling, is just to actually play the games. So be it either the Farm Simulator 22 or other games like Mon Bazoo. I have a lot of fun with that on Wednesdays. I'm really just starting to get to the point where I want to be done, I guess, as far as with what I'm working on with Farming Simulator 22 with the Dairyland 4X map and just be able to play it. So yeah, most of that is winning for dollars. Well, I don't bet you probably got some monies into that. Yeah, so that type of hobby I can see can definitely get pretty expensive. I don't even want to think about it. I just remember how much I had gotten as opposed to spent when I did get rid of a majority of my Legos. We're talking like thousands of dollars. Thousands, not hundreds, thousands. Not saying that's how much you've spent, but yeah. Legos are a pretty big thing, I guess, as far as especially when they're very rare. Rare type of thing. So I got some cleanup to do here. Let's do that. Let's turn some vert snap on. What in the world is happening here? So I think I might still have a rogue vert there. Let me see. Got it in orthographic, so we'll be able to zoom in here and really see what's going on with this. Okay, so that was an N-gon there, because it did have the rounded corners to it. I think that's what's happening there. So what I might do is actually remove that poly. I can snap that, and then I can snap it all to that. Okay, we're good. I think we got a method to the madness here. Let's do this. So we'll remove this poly. That'll clean that up, and then actually take this vert, snap it to. Oh wow, got a rogue vert in there too. Hold on a second. Go back. Okay, cool. So there must be a couple of verts in there. Okay, hold on. Let me select this. Want to make absolutely sure we're not selecting any anything else other than what we want to. So there's two vertices there. I'm gonna go ahead and weld that. Okay, now we should only have one vert. Now I should be able to snap that. Oop, gotta turn this vert snap back on. Snap that there, sweet, and then we can take. So this one here is a separate piece. Oh shoot, that's what I was afraid of. So it actually shifted that texture because of doing that. Son of a gun. I can always fix the UV mapping on that. So because we moved that little sliver of poly out of there, that N-gon, it actually shifted the texture. So we might have to fix that. Might have to re-UV map that. Yep, we'll do that once we get done with what we need to do. So this is a separate piece here, but I should be able to grab this vert and snap it to there. Sweet. And then snap this up to here. Voila, that should fully close that in. Yeah, I'll fix that UV mapping for that once we're done. And then we can do the same thing here. Is just go ahead and snap this down. And we'll move the X on this one. That should work. So we'll get the X, or the Z on this one, I'm sorry. We'll get the Z. We'll have to move all these verts on this level, I guess as far as upwards. At the same level. Like so. We can get it nice and straightened out. Yep, so sometimes as you work on these things, you tend to break other parts. So the fact that we did break the texture alignment, I guess as far as on that, by moving that one poly to be able to get everything else lined up. Sometimes that happens, but there's ways to be able to fix that, so yeah. There's ways to fix that. So it's no harm, no foul. Now, I could be selecting all these verts at once and just do it all in one fell swoop. I'm just kind of, I don't know, creature of habit, I guess, as far as when it comes to, I want to see anything else that might have gotten screwed up by doing these vertices one at a time. Because if there's something else that did get screwed up, I can attend to that more feasibly. As opposed if I were to just zoom out, select all those individual verts and just bring them all up at once, I won't be able to see if there is any problems until after the fact. Okay, so I'll probably have to snap all these verts to that pillar. Yep, a little bit at a time. We'll get it. We'll get it there. The other thing I was thinking about prior to going this route is whether or not I wanted to remove these polys and just make it one big poly. I might still do that. Once we can get this all lined up here, I might be able to take these all out and then just snap these all together. That's going to take some more poly weight out of that for our interior. The thing I want to be absolutely careful about, as I was already previously mentioning with the UV mapping, I don't want to screw that up too bad. I want to maintain as much of this as possible. So, I want to be real careful with that, if at all necessary. Alright, so I can do this one of two ways. I'm just going to go ahead and just, yeah, I already got that pasted there, so we should be good. So whether I just snapped it here or just continue to copy pasta that coordinate, that works too. Alright, now let's continue to snap. So we gotta probably have to take the poly out of this too. Yep, much the same we did the other side. Not a big deal. At least we'll be symmetrical on either end. Alright, so we're gonna remove this poly. Same as we did on the other end. Alright, and then we can snap. Oh. Our vert snaps back on. Snap that to there. So I probably got a rogue vert in here somewhere again. Let me see. Oh, I just saw one. I just passed the rogue vert right there. Hold on. Get that out of here. We don't need that anymore. Whoops. Alright. And we can take this guy. Snap him there. Take this guy. Snap. Oh, that's another rogue vert. Son of a gun. I forgot to do the weld like I did on the other side. I guess as far as the... My bad. Yep, so it did shift that much the same. That's to be expected. Let's just make sure we're all nice and snapped. Now, the other thing is, I actually think I want to snap it to this pillar. Yeah, because we... Oh, nope. So we do have overlap. Okay, I just noticed that. Okay, so what we need to do... Select the darn thing. Yeah, we got a lot of rogue verts in here. There we go. Okay, so what we'll do at this point is weld that all together. Oh crap. Turn our snaps off for a second. How many verts we got in there? We got 6 verts in there. That's crazy. But when you consider, I guess, as far as each of these edges probably has its own vert. So it's not really all that crazy, I guess, as far as that we do have 6 verts just in that one little spot. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. Makes sense. Let's go ahead and weld that. Ta-da! Sweet. Cool. That's all nice and cleaned up. Oh, goodness. Marvelous. Alright, so the only thing we gotta fix after we get this all done is to correct that UV misalignment. Not a big deal. Okay, so for these... what do I got here? Yep, I should be able to snap this one up to here. Marvelous. Cool. Alright, so we should be able to do the same thing with all these. Now we can't see the vert, but we know there's a vert there in this poly that's a separate piece. And we know it's there. Now if I were to collapse that, all this together, we'd be able to see what we're actually snapping to. All the more reason to snap feature when you can't see the actual vert that you're trying to snap to, because of having 2 separate pieces. That's where the snap actually comes in really handy. Like that, so just snap it right in place. We're kind of minimizing the amount of damage that we need to fix, I guess, as far as with that. So the only thing that we really experience, I guess, as far as having to get this all nice and lined up straight is to redo the UV mapping on these two ends. Alright, so we got another rogue vert there. Let's get rid of all those rogue verts. We don't need those. For our interior. Get rid of those. Sweet. There we go. Alrighty then. So I think we're to the point to now where we can actually combine and collapse this piece with this piece. Alright, so let's do that. We'll select this piece. Now if I want to maintain the name, this is kind of the order of operations when it comes to collapsing. If you want to maintain the name of your shape, select that first, and then go in order, I guess, as far as whatever you want the name of your piece to be named, I guess, as far as in order of collapse. So if you've got more than one piece, so like this one here is just object 3, so if I want it to be named object 3, I would select this first and then that. The other thing to take into consideration is watch how badly as far as it's breaking your polys. So you see these dark spots in here. So far from what we've been able to confirm when we render it, the polys aren't terrible. Have you seen these dark spots in here? So this is what happens, as I mentioned earlier, just as far as when you go use these detach methods to weld and detach and so on and so forth from a original model. Sometimes these polys get warped a little bit, for lack of a better way to put it. I think for the most part, from what I'm seeing, as far as this shouldn't be all that much of a catastrophe, so I think we're in good shape. I think we're definitely in good shape. Once we get this model exported out to bring it into our editor here, we'll definitely be able to confirm whether or not it's going to be too broken to the point where we're going to have to fix it prior to export. Okay. So yeah, let's go ahead and collapse these two down. So we need this one and then this one. Get our trusty dusty hammer out, collapse, select it. Yeah, see how we see how we're seeing that shifting as far as in that. You always want to be wary of that. If you're seeing it get too extreme, so a lot of it has to do with the way Max kind of recalculates as far as where all these vertexes are located. That's what you tend to see, the shifts in the polys. What you really want to pay attention to is it misskewing the texture or anything like that. If you're just seeing these dark spots, usually it's not too much of an issue. That's just Max's way, because I do have it on shaded. That's Max's way as far as to rectify, I guess, as far as you recollapsing, I guess, as far as all those vertices together and averaging and trying to normalize, I guess, as far as where those vertices should actually be. For just putting in as much as layman terms as possible. So it's not necessarily a terrible thing that we see that. It renders pretty well, I guess, as far as to not have these major dark spots in there. If there was any worse than the way it's showing, yeah, we definitely have a problem. So this is where this is all interior, so that's from this angle. And scooting around this way, we should be able to see all that. Like so. So this is going to be our interior. And this is all nice and flush pretty much here. So other than changing and adjusting that UV map, which is what we're going to do next. That's what we're going to do next, is fix this UV mapping here. It's a very, you know, we wouldn't necessarily have to. It's just, I know it's there, so that's the only reason why I want to fix it. It's going to bug me unless I do. Alright, so we're going to do vertedable poly. Oops, hello. Okay, and then I think a lot of that shading actually went away. Kind of some of it did. Alright, so we're doing good so far. I'm glad the stream is holding strong. That's the one thing that always kind of worries me, I guess, as far as with doing these types of things. We have made some upgrades to the PC that I work on, that I utilize, I guess, as far as while doing these types of things. So I'm hoping all those upgrades have definitely made a difference. still only showing about 20% use on the CPU, which we do encode on the GPU. This as far as we're doing this stuff here. The GPU is holding up pretty strong. Glad to see it. So are you working on that currently, I guess, as far as with the Lego stuff there, Racer James, or if you're still hanging around? Are you working on those as we speak? Okay. Alright, we got this all collapsed. Lost my train of thought on what I wanted to do. Oh. We didn't want to do the UV unwrap, that's what we want. So we're going to go ahead and UV unwrap this. Open up the editor. Bring in our texture. Okay, so this is what we got. So now we can select these polys that we want to fix. The UV mapping on. You are painting the stickers? Cool. What are you using to paint those? Using like model paints, or what is the method of choice, I guess, as far as for those? I think the only thing we really need to adjust is on these two polys. I think that's all we need to do. Okay, that is what we're going to do. Let's see where those are located. So they're right over here. So again, I'm going to go ahead and tile this. Diffuse texture. Alright, we'll go tile. Get it out to where that poly's at, right there. Cool. Now we can see what we need to adjust. So, yep, I can already see where it's off. Let's see. So one of these should be on the other end, I'm thinking. Let's see. Whoop. Oh, you dirty rat. Alright, so what I might need to do, I was hoping I wouldn't have to do that. Let me see here real quick. I should be able to only show, yep, that's what I was hoping I'd be able to do. So I should be able to just straighten that out and see how it's, where that original poly, that sliver of poly that we took out. So in theory, I should be able to just straighten that out and we should be good. Always in theory. Let's go to vertex. Okay, and let's do it this way too. Let's see how we turned out there. Hey, let's see. Yes, no? It's closer, but not quite. Alright, so let me reselect those. I'm half tempted to use my F2, but I do have that hotkey to get as far as to one of my... it would kill the stream if I do that, so otherwise I would toggle off, I guess, as far as so I can actually see what's going on here. So I'm going to have to just unhighlight it as we move along. So that should be... let me go to vertex here real quick. So if I go like this, which side of those vertexes on? So those vertexes are right there. See that one there and that one right there. So I need to shift that end over just a little bit. Yep, so I need to just move it over this way. See if that's the right way. Nope, wrong way. Gotta go the other way. Alright, now we know that. We need to go closer to this one. Oh, too far. We'll have to play like ping pong here a little bit. That's okay. Getting closer. Voila. Now the other thing we could do prior to me just isolating this particular poly is, let me bring them all back. I could have probably grid snapped, but the other end is going to be in that same spot. Now I've got this one lined up, I can actually grid snap the other one to that location. So it was more or less just getting one of them set the way it needs to be so that it lines up. And then we should be good to go. No, in Photoshop, scan the official sticker sheet so it gives you a 1-to-1 size, then outline where the cutouts are, make a mask layer, and paint. So you're okay, so you're basing it on our existing template. Noise. So you paint that all digitally, and then just print those out. Nice. So how do you get, do you have to like print it on like sticker paper? Or do you put it on, what do they call those, like they used to have for models where you, the transparent deals, like the, I can't remember what they used to call those, but I think you know what I mean. But what type of paper do you actually print those on, I guess, as far as to get your stickers? Okay, so yeah, now I can just line this one up. That should be on the other, oh, no, that's that one. So that's the one we want to keep. So it's going to be this one we got to move. So just to confirm, we're going to go on the other end. Yep, see, none of these are highlighted. That should be on this end. Oh, okay, so that's not what I thought. Okay, hold on. We need to go into poly, see where these fellers are at. Oh, okay, so it's on the other end. Got it. So it's down on this end, probably. Yep, sure is. There we go. Okay, so yeah, the other approach I can take with this one here is just to grid snap it. This already existing poly that's not highlighted in red. I think that should work too. Let's try that out. So if we go to vertex mode, and we'll turn our grid snap on. Oops, scoot that up a little bit. I'm gonna get a little bit wonky. I think we're still gonna have to shift it out. Let me see what we got. Nope, that actually lined it up pretty good now. So that was another approach, I guess, as far as we could have took, I guess, as far as to get that to line up. So now it lines up perfectly again. As far as to be lined up with that that pattern on the texture. Sweet. That wasn't too hard at all. Let's see. Whoop, go back to vertex. Spin that around this way. Let's check it out this way just to kind of double check it. Yep, lines up really nice now. And we'll check the other end too just to make sure. Yeah, they sell vinyl sticker paper now for laser printers. It's darn close to actual commercial quality. Well, I can bet. Models use water slide. They sell kits for that too. Yeah, that's why I was wondering which ones you tend to use for your Lego stickers. So you're using the vinyl sticker paper. Nice. So you got a laser printer. Something I'd really like to be able to get is a 3D printer. They've actually come down in price as of late. Yep, so this is the other spot that we adjusted here. So this lines up. So cool. Texture UV mapping is complete. First to realign that so we can close this back up. Cool. And that is our interior. Now the only thing we haven't done yet is the roof. So we want to make sure our roof is good to go. So we'll bring our roof back in. Problem with 3D printers is I want a 3D scanner. What would be the difference, I guess, as far as yeah, oh, I got you. So the scanner would actually be able to scan. So some of the printers that I've come to find, they actually have a scanning feature to it. So if you've got something that you want to be able to replicate, right, you can clay model that, and the printer software, the 3D printer software that it comes with, will scan it, put it into the software, and then it'll actually be able to 3D print it. Depending on it, you're getting into the higher dollar ones, I guess, as far as that have that. But yeah, to make car parts, I want to scan the car and then print my creation. Right, that would make sense. I can't say so much, I guess, as far as for the actual scanners. You know, if you want like a, I guess when I think of that, as far as we've done the LiDAR stuff, I guess as far as with that, something to that nature, that's a little bit more expensive. But the 3D printers themselves, you can get a pretty reasonably priced one, I guess, as far as for around $300-400. And some of them even have the ability as far as to take the head of it off so that you can do like very odd shapes. So you're not limited, I guess, as far as on what size or shape, I guess, as far as that you can scan or print. Pretty neat. It just depends on how involved you want to get it. Now, if you're doing car parts, like for what the job that you're doing, as far as like dash pieces and stuff like that, I can see all this. So if you wanted to scan a whole dash, so you have that whole template for the dash to be able to know how something's going to fit. Yeah, that's a little bit more on the extreme side. What I think of as far as like being able to 3D print, like say like a keyboard housing. You know, like if you wanted to model your own keyboard housing to put your own toggles and stuff like that in there, you know, something to that degree, or even being able to model like your own pedal for your pedals for your steering wheel, which is something I've been wanting to consider as far as to not have to utilize, I guess, as far as the ones that comes with some of these 3D designs, these pedal designs for steering wheels, stuff like that. You know, not too big, but you know, stuff that's it's big enough to where you could still print it, I guess, as far as on some of these more reasonably priced 3D printers. Yeah. Right. Yeah, so for you, yeah, I can see how it would be like dashes and speakers. Well, even like speaker housings too, I'd imagine. I guess I can see, you know, doing a speaker housing. I don't want to get it mixed up. I'm sure you got different terms for it. So like to make an actual speaker, you know, the magnet and all that stuff, and then the housing that it will go into, so like a sub box or something like that. But to have it fit and conform, I guess, as far as to the way the car is designed, you know, as far as the contours that would exist, that'd be pretty interesting. There's quite a bit you can do with 3D printers. It's kind of scary when you think about it. I don't want to go into too much detail because I don't want to get everybody any ideas, but I'm sure they know who they are and what they do. Okay, so we need to bring our roof back in. So let's unhide by name and inner roof. Okay, so there's our roof. Oh man, this is looking so good. Like it. Alright, so let's do a couple of renders here just to kind of get an idea of what we look like. Nice. This is what we're going to see once we put it all together. I know I got a lot of whitewash to this. Let me adjust the global tint on this a little bit more. Darken it up just a tad, so we're not too whitewashed. And I need to change the background color. See our ambient, we could probably... See, I don't want to make that any brighter on the ambient. I'm going to keep that all the way dark. But the background color, I need to darken it up a little. Just a little bit. That's better. So we get some contrast. This is what we look like on our interior. Pretty solid. So we got that piece. That's kind of our header, I guess, as far as over our doors. We got all of our pillars. This is all flush, I guess, as far as on the inside, at least, anyway. But they are conformed, I guess, as far as to what's going on the outside. So we got our ceiling, as far as our roof. We're going to keep it lofted. I had initially thought about making it just straight across, and I think we'll keep it lofted because we want to make use of those skylights that are on the outside. And I just feel like if I put a ceiling just straight across there, you would lose that effect, I guess, as far as of the sunlight's already built into that. So yeah, I think this will be a better approach to make use of that. We still do need to put a floor. That's something else that wasn't existent with the interior. we'll need to do that next. I guess as far as, so I think the best approach for us to take with that is to just make a simple plane that doesn't have, so it's just a true polygon that'll be able to cover all 4 corners. So we can create that from a top-down perspective, and then just snap it into place in all 4 corners, and it'll be just one true polygon on the bottom. And then we'll be able to map that to the same texture that we're already using for this building. We do have a section of concrete that we can use on that might work. Should work just fine. Alright. I think that's what we'll do next. Let's take our roof and hide that for a second. We'll go top down. Oh, that's gonna get a little tricky. So I think rather than doing top down just yet, we're gonna go into create, standard plane, we're gonna do a plane, and I just need to make a couple adjustments. We don't need any additional width or height sags. Let's reduce that, and then go ahead and drag this out. Nice. All right, that looks good. We'll convert that to an editable poly, and we're just going to name this as floor. Okay, just for clarity in our items list. Now all I got to do is just snap all 4 of these corners to the outside corners of our inner walls, and that should be good to go. I'm going to just have to UV unwrap it. Okay, put our vert snaps on. Snap those to the corner. Whoop, kind of lost this corner. Got lost in translation. There we go. There we go. So that's all snapped to the bottom of our interior walls. Now we can map this, I guess, as far as, so first and foremost what we need to do with this is actually apply that texture. So we're going to bring in our material editor, and we got the texture right here. So all we got to do is apply it with that selected, and it's going to look funky for the time being. Now we just need to UV unwrap it. So the question is going to become, where do we want to actually map this to? So there's our poly for our floor. We'll select that like so, and do a quick planer. Not really sure why it did that, but we'll straighten it out. So we got a couple of options on this texture to be able to put it. So we got this concrete right here that we can use. That might be a good candidate. Should be able to scale it on the horizontal, I guess, as far as if nothing else. Okay, so I need to straighten this bad boy up here. Let's go to vertex mode and straighten that out. Straighten that out, and we'll straighten it on the verticals as well. Okay, now we can get an idea of how we're oriented on this texture. We can see how that's applied there, so we can see we're going in this direction. So I think what we'll do is we'll actually rotate this whole thing. Let's go back to poly mode and rotate it this way. Okay, and then we'll put it right over this concrete here. We're going to utilize the same texture that all the rest of the building is using. How does that look? That actually doesn't look too terrible. That looks pretty fantastic, actually. Now, it might be possibly a little bit overscaled. Or, by overscaled, just stretched a little too far. Let's see what it looks like if we go like this. Stretch it out a little bit more this way. That almost seems a little bit too stretched, so let's try and keep it more this direction. Something like that. I'm going to leave it like that for now. I may or may not need to adjust the texture itself. So what I'm trying to potentially do is to not have to create a new texture, because all this is already self-contained within the game itself. So the less I've got to modify the texture already in existence, the better, in my opinion. Now, if it does come to pass, I guess as far as that, you know, this looks too overscaled, and it forces us to have to do it, then we'll go ahead and do that. But for now, I'm just going to leave it like that. So at least it gives us a floor. Nice. So the fact that we took all that initiative, I guess, as far as to straighten that all up, that we had going on, I guess, as far as our threshold for our doorways, definitely worked to our advantage, I guess, as far as to get a nice level floor. Okay. Let's go ahead and collapse that then. Cool. So we still got these all in separate pieces so far. We got our floor, our interior wall, and of course our roof. Yep. So this is all the pieces that we have for our interior at this point. So what I'm going to do before I do anything else, let's do a little bit of house cleaning. So we do have some pieces. That's our exterior walls. Let me go ahead and mark this one as our exterior walls. You'll post some more specs in Discord later. I gotta get my mess cleaned up here. No problem there, Erasure James. I know you said just the first few, and that was exactly it. Try not to be a stranger. We're trying to do more of these Spline Design Studios Saturdays, I guess, as far as we got lots of things, little things like this to tackle. Little tiny projects, I guess, as far as for our map builds. So we'll be doing more of these streams, that's for sure. Yeah, definitely catch you later. Have some fun. Got the wave emote. Bye bye. 48 months, 4 years. I know it's definitely been longer than that, I guess, as far as like I mentioned earlier. Definitely appreciate that sub. It helps us to continue what we like to do here. It pays our bills. Mainly the internet. It definitely requires the internet to be able to do what we're doing here. Alright, so we're just passing 3 hours. I should probably take a little bit of a break after this, so let me just relabel some things here real quick. And we'll take a short little recess, I guess, as far as the stretch. And I need to refill my drink anyway, so yeah. Let's see. So we're gonna rename this one to exterior walls. Just gonna give some more clarity in our items that we've got. So we got our floor, exterior walls, interior roof, interior walls, and what else do we got? Should have the rest of our shape. What was this object 2? Object 2 was... Okay, that was our outside exterior roof. So yeah, we gotta label that. We got 2 separate pieces, I guess, that we gotta reconstruct, I guess, as far as to have 2 separate objects. This is our exterior roof. Okay. So again, just putting some more clarity into what we got. So we got 3 pieces, I guess, as far as for our interior. We got our 2 pieces to put back together for our exterior. Okay. Make sure we don't have anything else there. And then our original shape here. Like that. So there's everything in totality. This is what we want to be able to combine together as far as this first. Then our interior walls. Well, take that back. Yeah, so let me take a short little break and then we'll get back to putting this all together. I'm going to go ahead and save this really quick. This will be our starting point. So if anything goes terribly wrong, I guess, as far as in our process of putting this all together, we'll have that scene to rely on. So let's do save as and overwrite this. Already got it previously saved, so there we go. This is where we're gonna continue when we come back. But don't go nowhere, folks. I know the uptime is kind of a little bit behind, I'm noticing, so that must be how much delay we have. Wow, that's a lot of delay. So we got about a little over 2 minutes, I guess, as far as the delay. Interesting. Anyway, folks, we're going to be right back, so don't go nowhere. Alrighty, folks, we're back. Try a little recess there. That was a good stretch in there, I guess, as far as the tier. So we're getting into the home stretch. Speaking of stretches, as far as to get this all nice and compiled, get it into our editor, and check this out in game. Close that out there for now. Check some stuff out on the Rock Nation Discord, I guess, as far as what Richard James is working on. It's pretty cool. Good stuff. Alright, so we got this saved, at least anyway, so now we gotta clap some pieces together. So this is what we got for a construct. I don't think we got anything else hidden. Let me double check. Nope, just that LOD shape. So we got two different LOD shapes here to apply it there. I'm more or less going to take the approach of just making them both the same. That's the approach I'm going to take, at least anyway. As far as for our interior, anyway. So when we collapse that interior into this main shape here, yeah, this is going to be. We got to cross our fingers to make sure that this doesn't break anything too badly. That's for sure. Okay. I'm gonna get some cross fingers out there, I guess, as far as to. Oops, that's not. Wrong fingers. We got a lot of fingers. We got the hand wave. We got the cross fingers. If you're following the channel, feel free to put the cross fingers out there, I guess, as far as to. Okay. Let's Okay. So these exterior walls, or the interior walls, I need to put these together. So I think I'm going to take the approach of walls to roof. So eventually all it's going to be called is just interior, but what we essentially want to be able to do is actually collapse it into this original shape when it's all said and done. But I'm going to do these in pieces as opposed to doing it all at once, because we've come to finding us, as far as in the past, I guess, as far as when we try to do that too much at one time, it really tends to break the whole model, as far as the polys get really out of shape, if you will. Alright, so we're going to do these two first. And we're going to observe the model to make sure that nothing's terribly damaged. Okay, we are seeing some shifting, but it's still not too terrible. Okay, so far so good. So now we're down this many pieces. Now I'll take the interior walls and the floor, collapse those together. Okay, still looking good. What I'm looking for is to see any major anomalies or artifacting, I guess, as far as on these polys. So far we're not seeing anything of the like. We're definitely in good shape. And now we'll take interior walls and collapse those to the exterior walls. Take those two and collapse those. Okay, still looking pretty good. Okay, and just a little bit at a time. Now we can go interior walls to exterior roof. So essentially what we'll end up with is an object in here called just interior walls, which still includes the exterior walls, but that's okay. By the time we're all said and done, we're going to be back into just this one shape. Okay, so we'll do these two next. Nice. This is turning out pretty good so far. Pretty good. What you'd like to see. And then last but not least, we want our shape to be named this, so I'm going to select this one first, then our interior walls, and collapse that all down. Cool. And now we are down to just one shape. Now we do see some darkness. You can see some of these polys look like that, but let's go ahead and render it real quick. That may not actually be too bad. Now, we'll definitely be able to tell, I guess, as far as once we export this, how it's actually going to present itself. So far, from what I'm seeing, this does not look terrible. Looks actually pretty good. Whoop. Uh-oh. Got a little whack there. Zoom in just a little bit. Oh. This is looking pretty good. I like it. So we definitely have an interior to our building now. And still retaining, I guess, as far as a lot of the detail that was in the original model. Just to have an interior at this point. Cool beans. This is going to look even better. I'm really the anxious level. Let's put it that way. I don't want to talk about anxiety. Not getting, but we are getting anxious, I guess, as far as the fact that get this thing exported and be able to see what this looks like in the editor. Put that little dark spot there. Let's see what's going on there. Oh, that looks pretty good. All right, awesome. Okay, so now the only thing we got left is our other shape, which is that. So what we'll need to do is actually unhide that. Okay, because what we'll end up having to do is apply it the same fashion that we just did with the interior and all that stuff. So what we'll have to do is we'll have to reset the scene so that we can do that other shape. And that should be good. I might not even really need to do anything with this shape at all. While I think of it. So before I forget, I want to actually set this shape. I want to reset the pivot. Make sure that's good to go. Pivot, center that. Okay, just make sure that's good. And we're also going to redo reset the X1. Okay. And this is what we want to see. We don't want to see any of this orange bounding box gets as far as out of shape, you know, as far as to be skewed in any direction. So the fact that we see a nice box all the way around that definitely looks pretty good. So collapse that down, and at this point all I'm going to do is just remove the shape, and this is what we're left with, all that detail. Cool. Now I want to double check in here to see. Well, this is our visual back door. We want to keep that. Yes. This door here is separate. It definitely has the option to be able to make this as a animated door. I'm not going to take the approach to that, but it does have the option to be able to do that if we so choose. So we definitely want to keep that. So what we're going to end up replacing is this level right here and this level right here. Okay. So which is going to require us, I guess, as far as to take a lot of these items out of this so that we can actually bring that back in. We'll get to that point here in a second. There's going to be a bit of a step process here. All right, so what we got left in here is just this model, like so, with our interior, our newly created interior, and nothing else in the scene. Okay, nothing else hidden, so we can export this out at this point. Let's go ahead and do an export, and I'm going to put this right into our mod here that's in progress for. Now, I gotta remember if I'm actually working with this in the map. Yeah, so this is the one that's in the map, so that's the one I want to adjust. So we'll export it to there. Yeah. Set it confirm there. So I do have a working folder, I guess, as far as for outside the map. I want to work on this one in the map. Okay, so we want to export. And we want to point to where our map directory is. We'll go into here, maps, Dairyland Forex. Placeables. This is our part of productions, and we want our paper production. We're going to put this I3D for this right in there. Just like so. So we're gonna just name this building. Doesn't really matter what we name it, just as long as we know what we name it, as far as where we put it, so we know what we're dealing with. We need to import into our paper production. Okay, export that out. Now none of this will initially put rigid body as far as collision to it. We don't want to have that. We'll have to remove. So we'll have to open this up and actually edit some things. Okay, so let's do that next. So we got to go to here, and we can see that's where we exported it out. So let me look and see what we did here. So this we need to change. We don't want it to read from that working mod folder. We want to read this right from the map. Actually, even better, I need to actually repoint this, I guess, as far as to our in-game texture, I guess, as far as for the game itself. That's what we need to do. So I need to get that location, which is going to be, okay, hold on a second. So we got to open up this one. It's got to open up another folder. We need to go to our games on Steam. Let's see. Gotta find that darn folder. So I got my games on Steam. So this is all, I guess, what we consider to be dollar data stuff. So that is going to be located. Let me double check in here. I can confirm in here. This is located in Maps, US, Textures. Okay. Got it. So it's going to be in Maps, not in Placeables, okay. Maps, US, Textures, and it should be right in here. You want to point to that, this directory. That's the only reason why I'm navigating to it, so I can get that full. Now another thing I could do without even doing this is to copy this right here, what's already in here. We'll go copy and paste that to this here. Now I'll have to change some things in here to this. So the way we dollar data this, is just to take out this part right here, and the only thing we need to keep is right where it says data. The only thing we got to add to make it relative is to put dollar data. This is what's considered, I guess, as far as when something's considered to be dollar data. We're reading just what's in the game already. Okay, so this is what we want it to point to, I guess, as far as for our building. Now there are some other, there's a normal map and a specular, I guess, as far as I go with this as well. I'll open this up in the editor, I guess, as far as to further apply those adjustments. But for now, we at least want to point to that. We're going to save that, close it. Okay, now we can open this up in a separate instance of Giants Editor. Let's open that up. And we're going to take note of what is applied to the original LOD shape. Gonna load. Guess no, maybe. I was thinking about it. I got a lot of stuff going on here, I guess, as far as having the modeling program and all that stuff. So I'm really stressing, I guess, as far as the system. Right, so we're gonna open this up. So it's taking a little bit longer, it makes sense. So the only warning we get, which is common, I guess, as far as that it is an old shapes file, but this is our new LOD shape. And it's looking marvelous. It's got our floor. We got a little bit of clipping here, I notice. Interesting, I'm not really sure why that's clipping. Okay. We might have some things to fix, but that's okay. So we're not going to have any doors. We won't have, we got the window frames are in there. That's good. We got all our trim on our outside roof. That's good. This door is a separate piece, as I already showed previously. So it does have a little bit of lip, I guess, as far as on that, and that's where we put our floor, so that's good. Noticing a little bit of a gap there, I don't know why. Interesting, okay. We got a little bit of a gap here we might have to fix. Other than that, actually looking pretty good. Oh, wait, in these few little gaps here we got in between the bottom of that wall there, we might have to adjust that. Nothing too major. Okay. We do still have... Oh, you know what? I never did finish. I just remembered that. I never did finish, I guess, as far as what we were doing with the interior wall there. I remember we did kind of focus on that a little bit. They have to either bring these interior walls up or the roof down, one of the two. That's something else we'll have to address. For the most part, it actually doesn't look too bad. Okay, we do have some other textures that we need to apply here, so we're going to go back to this model and see what else is on here. So we do have, I do need to remove the rigid body, like I already mentioned. We don't want rigid body on this deal. The clip distance on the original was 200. We'll set that to 200. Okay. That should readjust there. Cool. Took the rigid body out of it, so it's awesome. Alright, so let's check and see what else we got texture wise. So we do have a gloss and a normal map. Okay, so we will need to know where to point to these. All the more reason I did navigate, I guess, as far as to that previously. So we need to go to our games on Steam. Where's it at? Right there. Going to our Farm Simulator 22, data, maps, maps US, textures, and we need to find company, warehouse, specular, like so. Apply that, and then we need to apply our normal map, which I don't think I got a tangent on this yet. I do need to apply the tangent, so we'll actually be able to apply that normal. Let's confirm which normal is on this. Yep, just the company warehouse normal. Okay. Alright, we're still in that same directory. Company warehouse normal. Because I put that on the tangent, I'll be able to apply that without getting any errors. Okay, so one thing I was kind of a little bit leery about, I'm not sure we'll be able to apply this. I think this has got a building shader to it. Yep, and it's a custom parallax. So I may or may not, after I collapse this down, have to run this through Blender so that we can maintain, I guess, as far as the custom parallax that is this building. Because as it stands, the exporter that I have in Max doesn't apply to that. So it does have a building shader with custom parallax. So at this point, I'm probably not going to be able to add the custom parallax to the building shader. We can try it, but I think it's going to yell at me. Let's just see what will happen. See if it will apply it. That's what I kind of figured. So the fact that we don't have that, that's because of the way the exporter works for Max. It doesn't have those parameters into it. So we're going to leave that off for now. And we can always address that a little bit later. So that is pretty much all we need for now, I guess, as far as on our new piece there. So let's go ahead and save this. And we want to put this back into where we saved it previously, into our map directory. Yep. Faceables, productions, and go to our paper production. So overwrite that guy. Cool. This will make it somewhat ready, I guess, as far as to be able to put this. This one was also called LOD0. like so. Okay, now I'll save it again. Not gonna lie, folks, I'm starting to get a little bit hungry. How y'all feeling out there? Everybody got a little bit quiet. We had a little bit of company here because as far as towards the tail end here. Trying to get this set up here so that we can actually test this out in the game. Alright, so we can close this out. We're getting down to the nitty gritty of it here now, folks. So we're gonna bring in, so what we gotta do is create a new transform group, which is all, this is set to 0, so we're good. What I do need to do is create a transform group within this here so we'll be able to put this interior stuff to. Because we still want to bring that back into our new shape. Alright, so let's go ahead and create a new transform group. And it's only going to be a temporary hold. We'll put this right in here. Like so. So we'll be able to take all of this. We'll maintain its position. Cut that out and stick it into this new transform group. That's just a placeholder so that we can get our new shape into where it needs to be. Alright, so that's the one. We gotta do this one. Anything and everything that was in this shape transform, we need to get it out of here. And bring it into our new shape. Okay, everything maintains its position, I guess, as far as because that's all set to 0. Now we're going to bring in our new shape, our LOD shape, which is right here. It should automatically put it into position. That's marvelous. So we'll do a cut, put that right into here. And this is essentially going to be our new LOD 0. That has an interior. Put this one here. I'm just going to hide this for now. Turn the visibility of it off. So what we're looking at is our new model. Like so. Okay, so let me see here. Door. Okay, that should have been. Oh, that's interesting. How come we're still showing garage door? Okay, here we go. That's what I was looking for. Alright, so what we should be looking at, our new LOD model. Okay, did I hide? Wait a minute. This should be our new one, right? Yeah. This is the one. Wait a minute. Why is it not showing? No, did I do something wrong? Well, cruddy duddy. Let's hide this one here real quick. Why is it not showing my interior? This should be our new shape that has all that interior into it. But yet, it is not showing our interior. Well, that is not what I expected to happen. Oh, me dang. Let's see, let me turn this one off. Why in the world is that invisible? Well, there's our shape right there, but there's no textures? What the heck? That's not what it's supposed to do. Well, that's a head scratcher. That is not what I expected to happen, actually. hold on a second. Yeah, so our shape is right here. Here's the highlight of our shape, so it's there. But for some reason, it's not showing the textures. I'm not sure why. Not sure. So what I might... let's try something here. So if we... yeah, I did not expect that to happen at all. Whoa. Yeah, so I think I've had this happen before when I've dealt with the LODs. And just trying to remember what I did to fix that. It'll take me a second. But as it stands right now, the only thing I have visible, which should be showing, is just our new LOD shape, which it's not. Yeah, I know I can do that, but that takes away the LOD. Oh shoot, what the heck? What happened to my scene grab here? Oh, I see what it did. So because of that, it put it to the bottom. Oh. I'll be damned. Okay, so I'll turn that back on. That's interesting, so it actually shoved that all the way to the bottom. Don't remember that ever happening before, but okay. Yeah. I definitely didn't expect that to happen. I guess I'm have to figure some stuff out, I guess, as far as with that, but if nothing else, I might just have to take the LOD out completely. I guess I could do that. I'd rather not do that, but you know what, heck with it. I'm gonna take the LOD out just for now, at least just for clarity, and we can at least see what's going on there. But the fact that it scoots this all the way to the bottom, that's kind of weird. I'm gonna put that back up to the top, otherwise that's gonna, for the way our production works there, it's counting on that visual to be at the top. So anyway, here is our building with its interior. The only thing it's lacking, I guess, as far as at this point, is the LOD. So this is without an LOD. So even though we do have that shape in there for the LOD, we can at least get a sense of what our building looks like with the interior. If nothing else, I might just end up leaving it this way instead of using the LOD. I'd rather maintain, because from what I could tell from the original model, there wasn't really much difference with both LODs anyway. I could always add an occluder mesh, which it actually already has anyway. It's right there. So that might have been what was happening too, I guess, as far as with having the occluder mesh. So the occluder mesh should take care of a lot of the optimization, I guess, as far as from a distance viewing. Anywho, let me adjust this light just a tad and get a better view in this. So here's what we look like with our lead interior. Let me bring this LOD back. There we go, and we're going to shut off some things like this interior. This is the old interior that they had in there, kind of the makeshift interior. That should bring our door in. Actually, we need to turn this back on. Okay. So there's definitely something going weird, I guess, as far as with this visual door should actually be showing. Not quite sure why it's not. Okay, why is that door not showing? Okay, turn that interior back on. Don't need that one. That's definitely one we won't need anymore. Windows. Okay, I see what's going on then. So we only got the door only shows on this one side. I think that's what the deal is. Actually, there's two of them. What the heck? So there's nothing on the interior, so we definitely need to do something with the door so we actually have something. Okay. That should be the collision for it. It's also got a texture. Okay. So I am noticing some clipping. I'm just trying to see what I'm going to need from the original LOD1 and what I don't. So there was a lot of the rigid body, I guess, as far as applied, the collisions, if you will, in here. Most of these shapes here should have the collision. Okay. I'm gonna have to do some work, I guess, as far as to figure out which collisions. Obviously, the door piece is only gonna have it facing the one way, because keeping in mind this originally did not have any interior. So I think for the most part we're in pretty good shape. I might just go the approach of not applying the LODs to it the more I look at this, and just go with the one shape, and then just kind of go from there. I think we put up plenty of optimization in it already, on top of the fact that it already has an occluder mesh, which the occluder mesh in the game, I guess, as far as what it does is it occludes, I guess, as far as things from as you get further away from the building. The fact that it's also at a lower clip, I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue. I still do have some cleanup, I guess, as far as on the model, I guess, as far as to address, I guess, as far as our gaps in our ceiling. But other than that, I think she turned out pretty good, I guess, as far as to apply an interior to this thing. I think we did pretty good. Got a little bit more work to do, but I think we did good. I did want to try and see if I could get this into the game. I think I'll try and do that really quick, because we are closing in on the 4 hours, and I am starting to get hungry. Let's see here. So even though we do still need some work on this thing, we'll at least see what it looks like. I'm definitely liking the fact that it didn't break the model all that terribly. As far as the polys, I think a lot of the clipping that we're seeing is because of this other LOD shape. So if I turn that off again, we don't have that. So I think I'm just going to leave that out. In any case, I'll just leave it turned off, and I can always clean this up later. What I do need to do is actually bring all this stuff that we put in this one transform out here and put it in our LOD shape. Let's do that. So we'll cut all these out, put them in here. Uh-oh, did that mess that up? I shouldn't have. How'd that mess that up? What in the world? That should not have done that. Oh, that's because this is not at 0. Got it. That's why. Okay, so we need to fix that. That's easy enough to do. So we can do, let's cut this back out. That back in here. Okay, that's where it should be. Alright. So what we need to do is actually get this to 0. Let's do that real quick. I'm actually going to go ahead and just... I don't know if I should take that out. I think if I do a freeze translate on this one, it should be okay. Yep, just to put that at 0. Okay, should be good to go. Now that that's at 0, when I bring those back in there, I should put those right in the spot that they should. They need to go. So put that out. Paste. There we go. That's much better. Just missed a little step is all. Cut that out. Our new LED shape. Okay, put them right back in the same order. So, snow cap. Base. Voila, and then we don't need this transform anymore. Cool. So what we ended up doing is first just to leave all this like this. I can do some more cleanup, but for now, this is what we should be able to see once we get it in the game. So we're gonna I'll have to do something with this back door, and obviously gonna have to fix these gaps in our model, I guess, as far as the 3ds Max. That's not a big deal. What I am liking is how this turned out. Now you're seeing a lot of artifacting with the shadows. That's only because of the lighting and Giants editor here. It's definitely not going to look that way in the game. That's why I want to test it out in the game, see how she looks. That turned out pretty freaking cool, though, I have to say. I like it. Alright, cool. Alright, let's go ahead and take the light out. And let's save this as a paper production. Okay, cool beans. I'm gonna go ahead and close this out. And I'm gonna go ahead and close some other things out here so we can get this moved over to... Yeah, so probably the other thing, like I mentioned, what I'll probably end up having to do is taking that collapse model, take it into Blender, and so I can apply that builder shader, I guess, as far as with the custom parallax to it. I'll have to get all that done as far as that way, because 3ds Max doesn't have, at least the version of Max that I have doesn't allow for that. Let me go ahead and reset this. Don't save that. We still got that scene saved, I guess, as far as prior to doing all the collapsing and getting it to that point into the editor. We're all good there. I'm gonna close that out. I just need to bring over this new model for our deal to our game. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me switch this on over, and we'll get all that done. We test out and check out the fruits of our labor in the game. Alrighty, then, let's do here. So I want to go here. Let's switch it on over. Alright, so here we are. All we gotta do is load our maps, load our Dairyland map, 4X map. We are in placeables, productions, and our paper production. So all we need to do is just move these two items over to our mod folder. We can check this out in the game. This is part of the reason why I like to leave the map unzipped. Just because of this very thing, because it's constantly being updated. Alright, so we just need to overwrite this fellow. Cool. Right, now you have all we need in there, just those two files, I guess, as far as all that work, two little files, I guess, as far as to be able to check out our paper production, I guess, as far as once we load it up in the game. So let's get the game loaded up. I think I'm even logged in there. I am not. Let's go ahead and log into that. I was doing some trucking earlier. I just want to make sure I'm in that. I won't be using the wheel. I just want to make sure it's always connected, I guess, as far as to the game. Otherwise, things can go a little bit funky sometimes. Alright, let's load the game up. Get to check out our fruits of the labor. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the game sounds up just a little bit. Gotta hear the game sounds. And I think also what I might do is go ahead and cut this for a second while we load this up. Alright, so I'm gonna go into a new save. Okay, we shouldn't have any errors, hopefully. So we'll have the devlog going here. I guess it's first to confirm that we don't have any errors or warnings. There is one warning. That's the first one there. It is related, I guess, as far as the animal food. It was very evident, I guess, as far as even in the 19 version. the FS19 version of the map. It just seems to be a carrying issue, I guess, as far as with editing the animal food by default for the game. All the animal food, you know, to include the cows, works just fine. Just always likes to pull up that warning to say, like, hey, the animal food file has been edited. All good, though. Okay, so as you can see, as the rest of this loads in there, pretty clean log. No other issues, so that's good. So all we should be able to do, I'm going to go ahead and actually turn off the autosave while we're in testing. Don't need to be saving in this while we're in testing. Let's do that real quick. And we're going to scoot on over to where this paper production's at, which is right over here. Actually, an old picture I need to put to it. I need to adjust the picture, and there's our paper production with all of our edits applied to it. So it's still got the collision in there. That was something that was taken into consideration, I guess, as far as to what I'll have to adjust in the editor. So as a part of those LODs, it's still got the collision there from where the doors are at. We're not able to go into it, but there she be. Actually turned out pretty good. So other than the gaps that we already pointed out that still need to be addressed for the roof, turned out pretty good. So got the industrial windows on it. I don't know if I actually want to make those so you can actually see through those. That might be something else I might address. But yep, we got the door that's visible on the outside here. So even without the custom parallax in there, it still seems to have a lot of the height values into it. It actually doesn't look too bad without the building shader to it. So it may not be a terrible thing, I guess, as far as just to leave it that way. But yeah, you can see the door that doesn't exist on the inside. I'll have to probably just turn that around, I guess, as far as, you know, make a separate piece for that, like for the outside, so I can make it for the inside. And then to remove some of the collisions that exist for these doors. So we want to be able to walk into this. You can definitely see we were able to maintain, I guess, as far as the skylighting. And a lot of other things, I guess, as far as with it too. So I think that turned out pretty good. Pretty stinking good. So that is the fruits of our labors for today, folks. Hope everybody did enjoy that. I'll probably get this finished up, I guess, as far as in between streams. And yeah, hope you all like this. Looking forward, I guess, as far as to be able to do more of these Saturday Spline Design Studios Saturday streams, going over much the same types of things. Hope everybody has a... I got a little quiet here. I hope everybody has a sensational rest of their Saturday. Feel free to... I'm going to see who I can raid as we go through the outro. And if you stick around for the raid, you will get those valuable units of fluid, I guess, as far as for joining in on the raid. If nothing else, stream will just go offline, and we'll be streaming here next. More than likely, I guess, as far as for Wednesday, whatever Wednesday continuing to play through on whatever Wednesday with Mon Bazoo. So yeah, we got some upgrades done to the old truck, and gonna be kind of fun, I guess, as far as to get caught back up, I guess, as far as being able to sell the Merple Circle and all that stuff, and get our funding, I guess, as far as back up to snuff, I guess, as far as the way it was, I guess, as far as our payday on Sunday. Hopefully you'll tune in for that. If you've been hanging out and you like what you see here on the channel, make sure you're hitting the follow button on the channel to get the notifications when the streams are live. Also, we got the social medias that are posted to the channel. We'll go ahead and post these out in chat as well. Feel free to check those all out at your leisure. It helps if I spell it right. There we go. There's all the social medias. Got the Rock Nation Discord that we did share, I guess, as far as a little bit with Racer James showing his Lego adventures. I'm also on the Twitter, and we got our Spline Design Studios Facebook group page that serves as our forum for our modding website, splinedesignstudios.com. Definitely feel free, like I said, to check out all of those at your leisure. And hopefully see you again real soon. Later, everybody.